Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing some blue-white tempo with Bilbo, Thief in the Night. Rounding out this is the typical cast of Tamiyo, broken card, Murktide, broken card, Days, Wasteland package. We also have all the best white removal. We've got Plow, and we have Prismatic Ending and 2 Erodes on the side. I'm also rocking a Brazen Borrower. Since this is a tempo deck, this pitches the force, and it can often just get something out of the way, so we can close with one of our 3 big Mercs. We are playing 3 Lorien Revealed, which allows us to get into the zone without the need for playing Thoughtseize, which is typically how you get enough sorceries in your deck if you're blue-black. So we're playing the 3 Loriens, and we're playing the 1 Prismatic Ending for a total of 12 sorceries, but we can play only 18 lands, and we can play 2 basic islands. The white splash is very light. Then in the side, we've got 3 Force Negations, 3 Hydros, 2 Consigns, 3 Soul Guide Lanterns, which pairs very well with Bilbo. Hopefully we'll get to see that in action, and 2 Dress Down. Let's do it. Round 1, we're up against an unknown opponent. We've got a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep this. We're on the draw, so if they combo us, we don't have any recourse, sadly. Okay, Hedge Maze. This could be the Allurn deck, or this could be a control deck. It's a control deck. All right. That's cool. I haven't seen Merc and Hedge Maze in the same deck for a while, which means they're probably just playing Beans, which is chill. Beans fan up in the house. They're drawing a Tundra. Okay, so they are Bant. So they're Bant Beans. What does that mean? I think it means I just want to get the Ponder in the yard and try to find a Daze so I can stop their Beans. And I will be taking this Tundra. I've got a backup land in the Lorien Revealed here. These cards are pretty good against Beans. Yeah, I don't need this Lorien. I will take the Plow now and the Tamiyo next turn. That way they don't realize it's coming if they also are on black, which is a possibility. I can't stop the Beans, unfortunately. I will actually draw that Lorien. I forgot about the bubble. I always forget my bubble triggers. It's so embarrassing. Okay, and they do have Beans. I can beat this, maybe. I don't think they're on the tempo variant. Usually they're not doing that with the white. So I think this is just a very simple, let's play out the Tamiyo. And then we can fetch and surveil if they... Yeah, I'm just going to do this. I mean, there's definitely a window where they can just kill her if I Lorien Revealed. But I think I'm supposed to Lorien Revealed. I can also just untap and do it in the upkeep. Okay, another Beans. I think I might lose now. I'm not gonna flinch. It sucks, but I'm just gonna trust. Like, one of their Mercs is already in the yard. Maybe they don't have that many cards. And I mean, they're representing Plow, so I'm just gonna wait. The card I'm about to draw. Oh, no, actually, I don't know what I'm about to draw. Right? I don't know what I'm about to draw. Okay, Scalding Tarn's fine. I'll play out a land. I'm gonna go ahead and attack, and then I'll probably attempt to brainstorm. And then the consolation prize is I can, if they stop this by removing my chick, I still get to brainstorm. So it's not the end of the world. They may force this. They don't. Interesting. Well, I don't want these excess lands. That's for sure. They can plow now. They don't plow. Okay. Yeah, and the correct thing is to wait, let them brainstorm if you don't think they're likely to find a force. We get a Tundra. I'm going to just get all Tundras. They're not going to be playing Blood Moon in that deck. And I looked earlier today, and Blood Moon's at like 3% usage or something like that. Is very low. I don't know that they actually have removal. I think this might be a Bilbo turn. All right, and now if they want to up the Beanstalk, they've got 2 very good targets. Hopefully they're not rocking Caracas. That would suck. But if they had Caracas, they would have played it last turn. Prismatic Ending? Yep. Tragic. We did get a card for it. They Merc, I have Plow, but like they may be able to answer it, but I can flashback the Plow with Bilbo. I'm just worried that they have a second Underground Sea, or like a second Tundra. Oh, putting Ending on top. Okay, that works sense. Can they draw into it? They don't have another white source. If I find a Wasteland, it's actually pretty good here. Brainstorm. Okay. How are they going to produce white? I think my Bilbo might get to connect here. Oh, Solitude. That works. Yeah, it's pretty strong. Draw, like, 0 mana, draw 2 cards, exile your best creature. That's very strong. And what my opponent is doing is pretty much exactly what I recommend if you're doing Bant Beans, is play a lot of Solitudes. Solitude's sick. All right. All right. So we'll try our Tamiyo thing again. But we're not going to win this race. Okay, another land. Not what I was asking for, deck. So I think I do want to flow state first, just in case I find a Wasteland. This isn't going to resolve. Holy cow. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I'll just grab the days here. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Play this land out. We're going to play the Tamio out, and we're going to send up a prayer. My goodness, we're getting smoked over here. Yeah, I mean, this is a bigger control deck. Like, we're a tempo deck. It's going to be hard for us to keep up. The card that they exiled, by the way, was the Prismatic Ending that they got back. I didn't check. Now, to some extent, they do have to respect the fact that I could have another Brainstorm. But I probably do need to force, but, like, man, their forces are so much better than mine. Forces that are also essentially a flow state. Like, man, that's going to be good. If I were on the blue-black version, this would be a much better matchup. Let's put it that way. Because I would have Bowmasters, the best card against these decks. Now they have the second white source. Actually pretty close to just casting Terminus. Here's their Merc. I need to actually force if they have it. I have to let this resolve, sadly. It's just not force-worthy. Well, Daze is pretty good here. There's no world in which I'll let that resolve. I am just going to be mana efficient since they made me Daze there. I'm going to go get my last Tundra, and I'm going to plow now. So I need to get this out of the way, and I probably need to draw a clue. All right, we got it. Oh, that's pretty good. Is there a world in which I am able to stop them? I have enough cards in my graveyard to make a big one and then defend it. I could also just flip my Tamio here. I think it's better to Merc and then flip. Or Merc and then draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full size. Coming at you. Coming in 1996 to the Nintendo Ultra 64. All right, there we go. Another Tamio if they remove this. Sorry, I totally butchered the delivery of that. That's a Killer Instinct reference if you haven't played Killer Instinct. The Nintendo 64 was originally called the Ultra 64, which they totally should have called it that. That was an awesome name. Back before Ultra was a played out term. Okay, just plow it so I can force, and then we can hopefully have a game. They play a land. That's a brick in my book. Uh-oh, something big coming. Is this Uro? What is this? Oh, they're hard casting. No? What is this? Lorien? Oh, they're doing the big Prismatic Ending. The target is my Tamio? Yeah, that works. I'll let that happen. They're just desperately trying to draw to interaction for my Merc, which it looks like it is going to get to take a chunk out of them. We'll see. They're giving me a draw. I got Hardcast Force up. I'm going to go ahead and come across, and then I'm going to Lorien and do my best Beanstalk impression with my Loriens over here. I do think that's probably more impactful. I need to draw lots of force effects. I haven't used any yet. All right, that's pretty good. So I have a land for next turn, and so I can Tamio and Lorien revealed again. I mean, that doesn't seem like a bad plan. They're dead in 2 more swings. My main concern is they could draw things that, like, draw them cards. Like, what are they looking at over there? Okay, they're fetching. They already used their Mystic Sanctuary. Do they have a second one? No. Is it Terminus? Unfortunately, I have to force this. And they're going to draw 2 cards off of it. But they didn't have white mana, so they are going to take another hit. Oh, wow. What is this? Entreat the Angels. Okay, well, I have to force now because that would definitely be the death of me. Yeah, I'm going to force now so before they draw their cards, just in case they draw. Let's see. Yeah, I'll pitch the Ponder. Now I'm back in the zone. They force back. Okay, they are going to get 2 Angels and 4 cards. All right. Yeah, it's a little easier for you to force than it is for me, huh? They've drawn a lot of cards off of these. I've drawn a lot of cards too. Like, it's actually really impressive that I'm keeping parity with them, but I'm not. Okay. So they've got those Angels. I need to find a way to blow them out in combat. Let's draw a plow here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just Lorien again. And then hopefully find a plow. So that, like, if I find the plow... I mean, the alternative is I could just... Yeah, I'm supposed to Lorien here. There's a very high chance that they have a force. They force. All right. Are we having fun yet? My goodness, how am I ever supposed to beat this deck? The good news is, like, one of their major win cons is in the yard. Like, all right, I'll play this out, and I'll just hang back and be defense against the deck that draws 4 cards a turn, 6 cards a turn. My Tomio is not going to do much, but I do have double flow state next turn. I've got plenty of mana. I haven't even been able to cash in my clue from like turn 2. They have the plow. Yeah, I'll gain a bunch of life. And they can come across. Ponder. They may have a plow for my Tomio too. Flow state's going to need to deliver the goods, let me tell you. Yeah, but I don't know what their other win con. Uro might be in there. There's a green. Do they have Uro? I'll just scoop to Uro. Wait, what is this? Another Entreat? 5 mana. They may be... What are they? A Lorien? Oh, giant prismatic ending. They're making really good use of their beans. Like, I'll give them credit where credit is due. They are doing excellent of making the heck out. Like, I think a lot of people they don't play enough beans triggers. You won a lot. And my opponent is playing a lot. They're like basically beans miracles. But not really, because they're only playing one Mystic Sanctuary. You got to go full Bleckman. Is there a world in which we want to hit one of their white sources? I don't think so. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. It's unexciting, but like let's go ahead and get our cards. If they force this, I have another one, but I mean, like, is there a world in which I could deck them? They're drawing so many cards. I only have 2 turns to live. Yeah, they forced that. Okay, draw 2 cards. Sure. I will say I don't really miss beans because it is just so snowbally. Like, the game was really decided the second they resolved the second one. Okay. Brazen Borrower and a Plow. Let's just try to run them out of cards here. I'm going to move while the moving is good, while they don't have anything going on. Okay, and then I'm going to just Plow too. I mean, I just don't want to die. I'm going to hang back. They might have to, like, they have Solitude in there. They probably have another Merc. We worked through one of them. Land. 7 cards in the grip. Just do me in. I can safely have 6 here and just relax and watch the fireworks. Even though I'm commenting, I'm keeping up with them, and I joined late because of the, like, I always do my deck techs after I've connected. So if I take, oh, they have Flow State in their deck too? By all means, dig deeper into your deck. Okay, this must be, oh, what? Okay. You're going to need to kill me very quickly once you find your win con. I assume that they have another, like, if a Solitude is not going to do it. Like, I will stall out a Solitude. They're going to need to find an actual Merc. But they almost certainly have forces to protect the Merc. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. They have one more force in their deck somewhere. If this is Uro, I'm just going to let them completely consume their clock. Okay, interesting. They're not doing anything. Want to clean up, discarding 2 cards. Okay, so first things first, let's draw a card here. They're going to try to endurance me. Oh, they're going to endurance themselves. Well, if I can... No. Are they tapping out? How many cards? No, I would have to... No, there's no way I can stop this. I can't stop this. They're going to get their entire deck back. I'm going to draw my card first. Yeah, because I wouldn't have had a second card to pitch the force. Because they did it. They timed it exquisitely. Because this has to find a ponder so I can shuffle away the stinky land that doesn't fetch anything. They probably just force here. They have it. Okay. Ugly. Well, yeah, I do want to play the Tomio here. Just as something to do while I dirtle. And then I will just play this out too. And I'm going to just play this out now while I don't think that they have any threats. I mean, I can't really attack in with it. I guess I could. I would be winning the race at this point, I think. They've got 32 cards in their deck. I'm not expecting them to lose. I will shuffle, even though it's bad. I'll shuffle to get rid of the other card. I don't have anything else left that's fetchable in my deck. So I'm going to F6 and just hope to apply some time pressure. If I fetch, I'm actually losing the race, but I have to fetch. Okay, this is some big card. It doesn't really matter. All right, I'm going to continue commenting, but like this game's over. I just want you to know. I don't know what I would draw. They discard a bunch of cards. So they were prepared for decking themselves. I totally should have shuffled, but I actually didn't, and it's actually okay because I'll just fetch and then I'll get rid of the fetch on top. It makes me lose the race. Now they know how few lanes I have in my deck. I'll come across, and then I will crack this bubble so I get a card in their turn, and I will attack. Just attack while the attacking is good. We're even. They get the first attack, so they are winning. Card on top of their deck is the plow, of course. So they're going to plow that eventually. We will not win. Daze is a joke at this point. Look at all those lands over there. If we had a second days during that one turn, if we could have stopped the endurance, I think we could have won. But they were prepared. They only have to win one game. I have to win 2. That's worth noting. They can plow at any point. They don't plow. I don't think there's any merit to keeping these wastelands. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll do it on their green so they can't loop endurance again if they manage to draw their entire deck before. Actually, yeah, I think they have it covered anyway. Solitude's coming in. This will speed up their clock. Again, I think it's a valid tactic to like go ahead and make them kill you and just take as much time as you need to along the way. People do it to me and it works very well. Even if this is not going to go to clock, the fact that we're making them make decisions with they're going to sweat the clock. They're going to be a few minutes down. Their deck can't win particularly quickly, but to their deck's credit, it can win quicker than a lot of Bean's decks because it's playing endurance. Okay, Uro is indeed in the deck. So they're spending a lot of precious clock when they could just pass the turn and win. They have a plow in their hand. They're just wasting time. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna stop narrating. All right, and I could have Lorien and see if they weren't paying attention. If they because they have Narset out too. Okay, so they're finally attacking me to death. Okay, so again we're up about 3 minutes, which is more than I'm usually up against really anybody. Let's think about what we want to do here. So I think, what do we want to do here? We want to stay full tempo. I'm not sure that we change anything. The plows are important. We could get caught in some situation where the plow is important. I kind of want to bring in a Force of Negation. Prismatic Ending can get rid of a Beanstalk, but like I feel like if Beanstalk has resolved, you've lost. I don't think Soul Guide Lantern is worth playing here. It can hit Uro and slow them down, though. I think we just have to go full tempo. And then game 3 is where we play really defensively and just try to run them out of clock. Because I don't want to run out of clock trying to run them out of clock. That happens a lot, actually. It's embarrassing. Okay, here is a perfectly reasonable start. So we'll ask the Tamio question. I almost said Tamio like everybody else. It's Tamio. She's from the Japanese plane. Okay, so I will get the basic island here, and I'll just get the Tundra later. There's barely any blue in our deck anyway, or white in our deck anyway. We've got like just a plow. I think I've only got 3 plows in the entire deck now. They are drawing a force that's good to know about. Let's go ahead and pass. So they're most likely going to remove this, and then I'll just try to stick Bilbo. I will have to draw a land first. Okay, I've got days. That's actually really good. If they just go for the plow, I will daze here and buy some time. I'm not going to counter that. Again, I want to get the big ticket days. But then I will have to daze before it's time to flow state. But it looks like I'm going to connect unless they have Solitude here. Wow, that's really big. That's a really big deal. I'm going to attack and then I'm going to play Bilbo. I didn't see, what's it called in their deck? So I think there's a decent chance that they don't actually have Terminus. Flipping Tamio doesn't accomplish a lot. They've got so many different ways of stopping Tamio. Just going to ride our value train and then try to daze theirs. They do have a force, but if I can get them to commit the force before the beans, it does help me a little bit. It's not a huge deal. I am going to be able to flow state twice next turn, assuming I daze here. No, I'll only be able to flow state once. They are playing faster. I think maybe they realized now that time is of the essence. Okay, they don't seem to have found anything. Come on, land. Oh, I didn't find land. That's a bummer. Well, I do want to land. I'm going to go ahead and get the land first. Get another Tundra. I probably could have grabbed the basic there just in case. Right, I don't have any. Oh, wait, get the bubble back. That's fine. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So we're getting the bubble. And then I'm getting a card off that. This is great. All right, we'll see what they draw. I want to be careful not to flip Tamio. Okay, they're drawing a trop. That may... Actually, that's pretty catastrophic. It's pretty catastrophic. That makes me want to go ahead and flow state now. Because if I flow state now, I might be able to find a force. Because Daze is not going to stop. They're going to have green. They're going to have 3 mana. I think they probably... I'm trying to think of what they would be sitting on that would be good. I think I need to flow state into a force. There we go. That's exactly what we needed to happen. Okay, these cards go in the graveyard. I can flashback flow state after I've forced next turn. But what I'm going to do is... Hopefully, I'm going to daze slash force my way through this, and they're not going to have a beanstalk at the end of the turn. Tragically, oh, what? Oh. Yeah, actually, you can have that. I don't care about that. They gain some life. I need to find Wasteland for that green source. They have lots of white sources, but they only have one green source. We got 4 wastes in my deck. Come on, we can do it. Yeah, I mean, I could have dazed that. It would have probably been a mistake, frankly. Daisy is getting worse, but I can always pitch it to force. Okay, another flow state. I think I still just want to chill. I can crack clues. I'll play the bauble out. This takes forever. I have to find my my dude here. Let's get the bauble back. It's a guaranteed card. I want the flow state in there so I can use it later. So I can get a good flow state. Let's see what they're drawing. Drawing off the beanstalk, terrifying. And that we know that they have a force in hand. I think I need to crack a clue here. I could flow state into a brainstorm. Gosh, this is so ugly. I'm using flow state so inefficiently, but like I'm really worried that they're going to stick the beans. And I just can't win the game fast enough. I already played my land. What am I doing? I'm just going to try to crack into, yeah. Let's find a, I needed the Wasteland. Yeah, I got the Wasteland, but I already played the land. Should I just flip her? I think I should flip her at this point. Just to give them one more thing to worry about. Because, like, I'm not going to keep up with their card draw engine. I'm also about to be able to, like, resolve Lorien Revealed. They could Solitude here, which I could daze. They don't. Okay, I ripped another land, which I don't like. Let's get into a force fight over this. Okay, I'm going to daze this. This is not of consequence, but this is probably the best daze is ever going to get. And then they're going to force back because they don't want to fight against my Tamio. And then I'm going to... What? They scooped it! They scooped it! Holy guacamole, they aren't ready to beat Tamio? They've got tons of freaking... Okay, now we control. They're 10 minutes. We control. I'm going to take out some dazes. I'm going to bring in Force of Negations. And we're just going to try to keep their engine offline. I'm going to bring in 1 Soul Guide Lantern, 2. I mean, this stops their win con. They can't really do a lot of stuff if I stop their win con. I kind of think I take out all the dazes. And because we're playing from behind. They're not going to be wasting us, but they're just going to develop their mana so quickly. I just need to win. Like, is this foolhardy? I've got a lot of forces. Does Borrower even do anything here? Would it be better for it to be a lantern? I think I'm going to take this out. Yeah. And I'm going to bring in the lantern. Yeah. I'll do that. All right. Maybe I do want to keep a daze in just because they might think they're out and then I get them. Yeah, I'm going to keep 1 daze in. Squirrely daze. All right, let's do this. If we can beat this bigger control deck, like my opponent's playing a little bit sus, like the way that they're doing all this stuff after they've clearly locked up the game and throwing away clock. Is this hand good? This is a very good hand. It punishes them being stuck if they are indeed stuck. Okay, so I'm going to... Unfortunately, they do have Carpet, which is devastating, so that's a good reason to take the days out. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and play my best card. The best card in blue, other than like Force of Will. And Brainstorm, end step. Okay, I think that's a misplay. Unless they're playing Lorien, which they are. Okay, so if they have Lorien in their upkeep, then totally on me to like criticize their end-step Brainstorm. But like cards are at a premium here. I am very worried that they just play a Beanstalk. I have no recourse. Please don't play a Beanstalk here. Please try to remove my chick. Okay, she's removed. Now I'm going to waste them, and they may get a Savannah, but then they don't have blue. Okay, they're fetching. They're doing something here. If they get the green source, I am going to waste that. Because that represents Carpet later, which they will eventually draw if they haven't already drawn it. They may just play it right now. Okay, I definitely need to hit that. Do I want to hit the green source? I'm worried that if I hit the Tundra, they just recover from that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. At least that way they have to tap mana next turn. Clear my Tamio. They're going to float white, and I'll just go to post-combat. Now they're floating green. Okay, they did have Lorien cycle, so that's fine. I still slowed them down, and I'm about to ask the second question. All right. They have a stacked graveyard. They could totally murk me here. That should be a really devastating turn of events. Yeah, they could have a very big murk that I wouldn't be able to stop here if they do just turn on the aggressive. They are on the play, so that wouldn't be totally out of character for that position. They are eroding me, which is great because I can go get a land. Which, yeah, so That's a 2-for-1. And now a little bit closer to... Okay, they're pondering. I can still find a Wasteland and it can still be really impactful. I think I'm supposed to go ahead and blow up their yard pretty soon. Is that right? Okay, that's not a brick at all. I was worried I was going to brick there. Yeah, I can play out the Soul Guide Lantern and just take one of their cards. And that makes future Mercs less good. I think I'll take the Lorien just because it would be a pain if they put it on top. I'm not close to being able to flow state profitably. Yeah, this is just kind of a dud turn, sadly. I could just draw through this and maybe find another Tamio. That would actually be really sweet. I will feel dumb if this just... No, I'm supposed to draw through this. I'm supposed to draw through this. Because I could find another Tamio or just another land. Come on, deck. No, not like this. I will force pitching Murktide, I think. No, I'll force pitching a stinky flow state. They have good flow state. I think I'm supposed to force this. I hate doing it, but I think it's true. And then I just Murk, and there's no way a 4/4 is going to do it. I mean, my deck just completely screwed me there. Sadly, I need to fetch to reduce the lands in my deck. It's not something I'm proud to do, but it is necessary here. Don't give me another land. Okay, that's actually something I can use. So the question is, do I wait a turn so that I can have a bigger Murktide and maybe hit something? And I think the answer is yes. I'm going to wait. Almost everything in their deck that's good dies to Murk. Okay, yeah, and I'm glad I waited. Because they could have found a removal spell and I'd look like an idiot. All right. They are playing a lot of cantrips in that deck. Holy cow. All right, and Brainstorm, and I can put back this sneaky card and have a giant Murk. Let's do it. Oh, man. I think I'm supposed to just crack through it. This time I'll take out the flow state, which would be annoying for them to regrow. I could have taken out the... They don't have a plow. Okay. I hate to do this, but I think it's correct. I'm just going to draw through it and see if I can find like a Bilbo. Okay, force is not the worst, but I think I'm supposed to make a move now. It's a 5/5. Yeah, I'm going to make a move. Blue, Merc. I'm going to go instant, land. I should definitely take all the lands. I don't want them to endurance me. That would be horrible. I don't want any more lands in my deck. Come on. All right, we're in with our 5/5. Not the most promising. They've got 8 minutes on the clock to our 9 minutes. They've caught up a little bit on time. Okay, they are flow stating for the third turn in a row. What more do you want from me? Oh my goodness, they've got 4 cards in their grip. I've drawn so many lands. I had to crack through my Soul Guide Lanterns, but those will be good if I draw Bilbo eventually. I do have Hardcast Force next turn if they don't kill my Merc this turn. So I can defend the Merc. Defend the Queen, as they say. Green. Okay, that's not a plow mana. All right, that could be Veil, though. Okay, Bilbo Thief in the Night. I think I'm supposed to cast him. Let's attack first, see what they do. I definitely think I'm supposed to cast him. I don't think I'm supposed to hang back with Hardcast Force. I don't think that they're likely to be playing... We haven't seen... I mean, if they have it, if they had the discipline to put... what's it called in their deck? So be it. Is this Force? Terminus is the card I'm thinking of. Yeah, and if they have Terminus, they're setting it up right now. So the game will be over very quickly. We'll know one way or the other. But again, I don't have the expectation that we beat bigger control decks like this. We're a tempo deck. We're much better against combo than they are. But they are the apex predator when it comes to like fair decks. If this resolves, I'm going to be really worried. I think I'm going to get Terminus into the Shadow Realm. I don't have a blue card for Force. Oh, what? They didn't have it. Okay. We're still gaming. Bilbo can get Soul Guide Lantern, and I'm going to nuke their graveyard as soon as I do. But they may be able to put a Giant Merc down first. Giant Merc would be a good defense against my Giant Merc. My not-so-Giant Merc. Give me a turn. Uro or something. Uro would be so chef's kiss right here. Solitude. Okay. They're going to go after my Bilbo because they're not fools. No, they're going after... Okay. You have like a consign or something? What are you... Really? All right. They may have a second removal spell. Okay, they're going to put the Prismatic Ending on top. The Erode. Okay. Do you have a cantrip in your deck of like 20 cantrips? Don't tell me it's a Beanstalk. Narset will find it, and they can't immediately kill it, though, unless they have a land. So I will attack. They reveal Erode. Okay. Oh, yeah, they can. For some reason I thought they were getting prismatic ending, but they can definitely stop that. Okay. So if I draw a blue card, it would be sweet. Actually, I can just force. I can just force here. They waited to my turn. I am going to force. Thank you. And in case they cast it a third time, I will have my last island in my deck. Okay. All right. You didn't have to wait till my turn. You are in a good position. You're definitely winning right now. You have a force back. It's like the slowest force of all time if they do have it. Okay. Force negation. Interesting. Well, I can't draw a card, so I think I'm supposed to just their graveyard now. No, I'm kind of tempted to just wait. Let's attack Narset so she can't get another card. I will play this out for free. Pretty sweet. Let's hit the prismatic ending. The flow state. I think I hit the flow state. Okay. Narset loses 2 loyalty. If they have Merc, I'll be so tilted. But yeah, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna exile their graveyard. Okay. Now, Merc doesn't work. They have another cantrip. This is finally Beans. Flow state. Stinky flow state. Okay, I was definitely smart to blow up their graveyard. I mean, I guess I could have done it now, but yeah. So they're rebuilding. Not really. Narset's dead if they don't find a plow. They do find the Beans finally. That's not good for me. That is not good for me. So I'll attack Narset. And once she's dead, I can draw a card. 5 minutes of my 8 minutes, so they are under time pressure here. Let's go ahead and attack Narset. Don't have a Solitude, please. Narset down. Let's bring out our Lantern, which hits this. So sweet. I love this card. Okay. Once Narset dies, I'm going to draw a card. And then I'll decide what to do. Oh, another one of these, huh? I think I'm supposed to ponder, just in case I find a Wasteland. These cards are not good. Any order shuffle. Lorien is actually pretty good because I can do stuff with it. I'm going to hold up the force negation and then I can Lorien next turn. I'm going to stop whatever they do this turn. Like literally like a plow. They only have 1 way mana, so I'll stop a plow for sure. I just need to keep this train going a little bit longer. Please don't have like a force. That exiles it where they can't get it back. I don't know if they have... Yeah, they have freaking Flusterstorm or some crap. Yeah, damn. All right, I'm officially pissed. They're not winning, but like they just had... Like they had that lined up. That lined up. They did what they were supposed to do. I have no right to be upset. I do have a right to party, which I fought very hard for. Let's Lorien. Okay. Let's take their white. And we'll pass with a force negation up. They've got 4 minutes. They can probably figure it out from here. Uro. I'll just get it out of their graveyard next turn. I'll be okay. But they are getting a card. This is not a 2-for-1. I'll just get it out of their yard and leave them with the yard. But there is risk there. They did draw a way to get a white card. Okay. So I have a Merc now. Go ahead and do that. Let's hit their Uro. Are they going to fight this? No. Uro's out. Murktide is also in. Bilbo's in too. Blue. Let's Merc. 1, 2, 3, 4. Land. So that's not quite a 2-turn clock. I am going to go ahead and hit their yard. Okay, and they can fetch. Like I kind of punted there because I should have waited from the fetch first. I do have force negation. But they have Beans out still. They're still very much in control of this game. Clocks are very even. This is a great way to start the league. Unfortunately, this is devastating. I will go to get a land. They took the right card in my humble opinion. They're down to 2 cards. But keep in mind that they can draw lots of cards whenever they cast like even like a Force of Will. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start by attacking. Make sure, then I'll have the mana to negate. All right, I'm going to try to find another win con. Like another, no, those are not good enough. There's too many fetches. Fetches don't do anything. Wasteland's great. Let's get them off white. And now, if they fire off their last removal spell, I can force a negate, hard cast. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ponder just to try to set up something. If I can find a Tamio. Flow state is awesome. Daze is quite good, actually. I'll take the Daze now. And then I have Daze and Flow State next turn. So I have Hardcast, Force, and Daze. There's a decent chance they can't get through all that. Lorien. So they can go get a white source. But I have the mana up to force the negate. I just don't... I need them to not be able to cantrip here. Wait, why didn't they... Oh, they did get a land. It's in their hand. Both of us are under time pressure here. All right, this may be a force. Let's see what this is. Narset, I'm going to daze. Yep, that's pretty sweet. I just need one more card exiled from my graveyard, and I win. They won't be able to force anymore after this hit. Let's flow. Wait, let's play this out first. No, I might be able to flow into... let's see. Do I get 2 cards off this? I do. Murktide, Bauble. I think that wins it. Play this out. Blue, blue, Murk. And I'll just exile Daze, land, Bilbo, Tamio. So this is just exactly enough to kill them, and I get to keep like all my goodies in my yard. Incredible match. Good games. See you in round 2. All right, we're back for round 2 after a very hard-fought victory in round 1. My opponent is frequently playing Dredge, but they're also frequently playing Delver. How you handle being on the draw against somebody playing those 2 different decks is completely different. This hand is insane against Delver. It is completely dead cold to Dredge. But we're going to lose game 1 of Dredge anyway, so I'm just going to keep this. So Dredge has like an 80 or 90% game 1 win rate. Okay, so we can just go to the next game, I think. We're not going to win this. And there's benefit to just concealing information here. And they had a very good Dredge. Okay, and they've got the LED. We can see what they do here. I'm going to F6 through the turn, just in case they want to go off. They don't. Okay. And unless we draw... There is no card. We'll just... Okay. Now we know that they're on Dredge, and we have powerful cards in our sideboard for that. Soul Guide Lanterns. Force of Negations. If we think they're on Faithless Looting... They showed Faithless Looting, right? That was what they did. Yeah, I think we do bring in the Hydroblast. So much of our deck is just dead against Dredge. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So, does Consign do anything? Not really. I think Erode might be... But, like, I don't think we want to 1-for-1 remove their threats. I definitely don't think we want this Prismatic Ending. I think I cut all the removal completely. And we're just fighting them on the stack, and we're trying to resolve a Soul Guide Lantern. And how we use Soul Guide Lantern is going to be important. It's not the same as Grafdigger's Cage, which just stays down. But it does hit something when it comes in, which is nice. And, of course, we have Recursion with Bilbo. So, I would say Tamio is completely dead. Like, it's just the game happens so fast. If they are able to Dredge, then their entire graveyard is in their graveyard. Like, their entire library is in their graveyard within a few turns. And you don't really get to recoup Tamio value. My instinct is just take Tamio out completely. And then what we're trying to do... That allows us to also hold up mana in case... I don't think they're going to be playing... Yeah, they're not going to be playing Daze. There's no real need to hold up mana, but we're going to have to, like, Lorien Revealed and cast our Soul Guide Lanterns and stuff. And there's never a world in which we'd cast a Tamio before we cast a Soul Guide Lantern. This card is just too important. So yeah, that's my thinking. We still... Like, our blue count is ridiculous. Actually, it's like 100% practically. But I'm not going to take out the baubles. If we get a Bilbo and we start recurring Soul Guide, that's the end game that we're looking for. If we get a giant Merc, we might have to fight through a couple of Narcomoeba to get there. But the main thing is just having a lot of forces to stop their initial volley and then being able to follow up with Soul Guide. Dresstown doesn't really do anything here, I don't think. It does stop Oracle wins, but like they're going to therapy us before they get to that anyway. So I think a lot of people overestimate the capability of consigned memories, like just magically winning them the game out of nowhere. Like your opponent's going to have Cabal therapy. They're not going to just walk into your consign generally. This is not a keep because it doesn't have a force. Now we could keep a ponder, or we could ponder and hope to hit a force, but like that's putting a lot of faith into our deck. Let's try again. This is what I'm talking about. This is a force hand. We can ponder open and try to find a second force or a daze. Either of which would be great. Okay, so I'm going to keep this. The card that is going to go back is Murktide. That is a redundancy. And I'll probably actually have to pitch the first Murktide to force a negation because I do want to keep the flow state to rebuild. because we're going to have to go through all our forces here. I'm kind of worried that they're playing something like... I probably shouldn't worry about it, but what if they are playing Hexy Sculpture? That'd be an ordeal. I do have my Hydroblasts in. Let's find the... this is a shuffle. We know exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for Force, and we're looking for... not Grafted Cage, Soul Guide Lantern. All right, we didn't get there. We bricked. So we force literally anything they put on the stack. That's what Bosch and Roll says, and I second that advice. I can't force this because they were very tactical, and this is like Dredge 101. You always cast your Otherworldly Gaze during your opponent's turn, so they can't force negate it. I've seen this pattern so many times against Dredge. Okay, and they did find a Narcomoeba and a Bridge, and it looks like they kept one of the cards on top. Yeah, so that's strong. We'll have to fight through that eventually. Let's draw a card. All right, it's a Daze. That is something. I am going to flow stay here. I'm not going to sit still. Let's go find that interaction that we so desperately desire. Well, I will take the Bauble because it's a redraw. I could take the Wasteland. I've already played a land for the turn. I'm going to take the Bauble and just get a redraw. And I still have 2 points of interaction. If I can find a Brainstorm, I can put back this Stinky Tundra. My opponent does not have a Dredger, but they have another Otherworldly Gaze on top, so they're going to reroll. And I will probably just Daze that. I just want to desperately avoid them finding a Dredger. Gosh, we're hitting bricks so many times. To put it in perspective, we've got 18 lands in our deck. We're not overburdened, and like wasting probably would have been folly there. This second mana does give them the ability to flash back the Otherworldly Gazes, though, which is not nothing. So I'll take my damage. They have, like, even if they don't win, they do have enough little random jank beaters that they can get you. So I do need to... Oh, let's draw something good. They're going to do another Otherworldly Gaze here. Unless they flash back. They don't. Interesting. Well, I did draw a card that does something. Actually, I'm just going to tap all my mana here, and I'm going to put the Merc on. That way I can at least start hitting them. All right, let's grab the basic island just in case they're doing something really weird over there. I can't think of what it was, but like we don't actually even have any white in the deck, so there's no reason to grab the Tundras. So this does take me off a potential future flow state, but it's better. Like, time is everything against this deck, and if they flash back at the end step, you better believe I'm dazing that. I can only daze once because I need to keep my force negation up for their really big spell. Okay, and I will daze that. You take these where you can get them. So this slows them down a turn. They don't have a good draw. Also, it's worth noting they are doing damage to themselves when they tap these. Stop both sides of this. This is very important. Okay, and they have another land, which is more land than they want generally. Oh, no, they have it. Oh, brutal. They're going to be able... Now, the good news is they don't have any dredgers. They found double Golgari Grave Troll and LED. Okay, what is in their hand? I think they had an extremely strong hand here. The fact that they have the bridge also means that when we attack in, they're going to get a body. They have something else to do. Is this breakthrough? All right. Come on, deck. Give me something that actually does something here. I need to remove that graveyard stat. Please give me a cantrip or a Soul Guide Lantern. Either of those. Oh, that's not good enough. We're dead. All right. I'm not even going to play anymore. There's no winning here. For anybody who's doubting, like I think the odds of winning are sub 1% because... What they're going to be able to do next turn is put like basically their entire graveyard into their... Yeah, I know it's not satisfying, but I don't want to watch this. If you're a fair deck, Dredge has got your number. It is like an insanely bad matchup. And there are things you can do, like play Leylines in your sideboard, or... like I probably could have had the 4th Force of Negation in the sideboard. It felt excessive when I already had 4 Dazes and 4 Forces, but... I mean, there are decisions. If you want to beat Dredge, it's less than 1% of the meta, but it is a sleeper. It's very strong. I will add that I have a no reserve list Dredge deck that I've never been able to play because Poxwalker is like $100 card on MTGO, and it's not available in the creative program because of the contract with the Warhammer company. So if anybody wants to watch me play not Manalist, but like no reserve list Dredge, based off of Mahfouz Van Gogh, excellent Dredge creator, his lists. Let me know. I need to borrow basically the entire deck though, because I'm not going to buy all those cards just for like a one-time thing. Because whenever you buy and sell to the bots, you lose like 70 or probably like 25% of the value of the cards. it wouldn't be worth it for me to do it just for like 1 or 2 leagues. But if you'll let me borrow the deck, I will record it, and I will shout you out. All right, round 2. I already took a no-lander mulligan. Round 3, rather. We're 1-1. This hand seems fine. It's a little land heavy. I'm going to put back one of the fetches because I have Lorien, and my turn 1 is most likely just going to be fetch and then Lorien. Keep up the waste. Unknown opponent. They have not mulligan, so they may be on a fair strategy, which would be great. I love fair matchups. Another Tundra, or another Trop matchup. This is cool. But this is probably just Omnitel. Most likely. Omnitel with Aluren. My favorite old card archetype that just became another show and tell deck, unfortunately. I don't think there's any practical reason to play old Aluren at this point, where you have like all the creatures and it's like a creature control deck. But I'd love to be proven wrong. If somebody can point me to some recent finishes of traditional Aluren that's not just show and tell, I am all ears. So they didn't shuffle their Ponder. I'm going to presume they've got land coming. I'm just going to go get a Tundra in the end step here. This way I can force a Beans and pay for days if they're on like Bug Beans. Okay, that's not Omnitel stuff. There it is. Beanstalk twice in a league. I'm hyped. This is great. The card that we're going to pitch here is just the redundant Brainstorm, I think. Then I'm going to waste them on their blue source. So you always force the Beanstalk. Pro tip. And if they force back, I am going to Brainstorm and try to find a daze. Okay, they didn't. Yeah, is Beans good again? I mean, like, it seems like there are so many other options. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get a Tundra, and then I'm going to Brainstorm. No, I don't need to do that. I'll just wait. Wouldn't mind. See, we're trading Brainstorm for basically 2 cards, because I have to Lorien. I definitely want to use... Yeah, I think I'm not going to do anything this turn, so I think I'll Tundra, and then I'll Lorien in the upkeep, and then I'll waste them. And my hope is to find either a Force... I don't want a Bilbo yet. There's nothing in the... Well, I guess I'll have a Brainstorm in the yard. But I think taking them off this land and removing 2 colors and punishing them for playing that basic in a 3-color deck is what I want to do. So they're going to think, oh, amateur player. Brainstorming the end stuff, getting an imperfect Brainstorm. That's what I thought earlier. Then my opponent showed me that they had a Lorien. Oh! Well, we could do the dangerous thing and keep the double waste. And hope that they're not on waste. They look like they're on Bant Beans, which usually doesn't play the second land. No, wait, we're getting a land off Lorien, so yeah, we can easily put this back. I'm going to put the Brainstorm back too. I'm just going to waste them a bunch. They're on a multicolored deck. So we'll go to our turn. And it'll be a couple turns before we stick our Bilbo. If they just untap, play a Trop, and then play a Beanstalk, we're in trouble. But if that's not what happens, then we're in a very good position. So attacking their mana is definitely like... they're a bigger control deck. We are David and they are Goliath here. So this is kind of what you have to do, is you want to cheese a little bit and buy some time. And I think there might have been a situation earlier. Can't remember if it was on camera, but like I did manage to cheese somebody with Wastelands and get like essentially like 3 or 4 time walks out of it. This is a sick pickup. Holy cow, that's like probably the best draw on our deck. Because now we don't have to pitch Bilbo. And we can stop a follow-up Beans. And then next turn, if they waste us, I can just play the Tundra and still have days up. But they may not be playing waste. Okay, so this is where I really want them to go get another duel. Because they're down on duels. They do get another duel. And now, I can't stop that though. I think I'm supposed to Bilbo and hope that they go for the instep Plow, and then Bilbo tries to race Tomio. This will be an interesting race. I think Bilbo does win the race, but Bilbo is a ground creature. Tomio flies, so they're unlikely to have any ground creatures. I think every creature in the deck has flying, unless they're playing Solitude like the other person was, or Endurance, I guess. But if they're on the Uro plan, they're very far from Uro. Uro, far from home. No way home. That is pretty sweet. I think this is a sign that we need to jam Bilbo here. We'll hide the Wasteland and we'll just try to keep them off green, since we can't keep them off white. And if they miss a land drop, I probably should have actually checked. But like, you don't leave somebody with a Tomio active, in my humble opinion. It's just a mistake. Like wasting them when they have Tomio, because they'll stack up the clues and then eventually... Yeah, well, nice try. I came prepared. They should have waited in untapped. That was jumping the gun there. But I can see they wanted to cash in the Tomio clue. immediately. Let's see what they're drawing. It's another land. Okay, so Wasteland would not have been a good line. All right, so everything's working out great, but keep in mind, we're on the draw. Our opponent is a bigger control deck than we are. We're like a tiny low-to-the-ground control deck. Force would be a good draw if we had a blue card, but we will get a blue card because I'm going to flashback the Brainstorm. Prismatic Ending, unfortunately. Oh, Riddler. They only get one card, though, so it's not as bad as it could be. So they're playing Riddler and Beans in the same deck. Holy guacamole, that's value-oriented. They're living their best life over there. Hopefully they don't have a Stifle for the Riddler. If they have Stifle for Riddler, then I can't attack, which basically the game's over if they have Stifle for Riddler, I think. But how could they fit all those like delicious cards in their deck unless they didn't reveal what was the Lutri, I think. Okay, yeah, Riddler warped out. We're gonna get a turn here. I don't think Wasteland is correct. Flow State doesn't do enough yet. We don't have a. Oh wait, we do. We do. Okay, so I think I want to get. What do I want to do? I want to hold the Force just in case. I do need to keep them off Riddler. I think I Brainstorm here. And then shutting them off land does reduce their options. Brainstorm is. If I Brainstorm, I still have an instant in my yard. Yeah, I'm going to Brainstorm. And then my goal is to change this Tundra into something else so I can waste them. No, I kind of need the Tundra next turn. The other option is I could just get back the Bauble and then I could Flow State now. Actually, I think that's fine because I'm very likely to find... Yeah, I'll just get the Bauble. Then I can Flow State. And then leave them with the land. But like I'll have Force. They have 3 cards. They're going to have to spend a lot of mana cashing this in. Huh. If I waste them now, I think it's better to Brainstorm and then waste them. And then just wait on the Flow State. My reasoning is this. They're going to have to use a lot of mana just to use their Tamio clues, and I can restrict that. And I found a Plow. And maybe I just Plow here. I think that's actually the line. Then I can flashback the Plow later. This is so sweet. So I'll put back the Brainstorm, and I'll put the Wasteland on top. I'm going to use that next turn. And I do want to do this now, and then I force if they have Brainstorm, because I don't want Flip Tamio. I could go to their upkeep and force them to do it then, but they may be able to do something. I don't know. I probably should have gone to upkeep. Yeah, they do have the Brainstorm, and I have the Force. That was ugly. But our value thing is on the table, and theirs isn't. So they got a 2-for-1 there. They got actually like a 4-for-1. Because, yeah, I'd use a lot of value there. Okay. And, of course, they're closer to Hellbent, so if... Oh, man, don't have any more land drops. Okay, they're pondering. Which means they were guaranteed to flip Tamio there. So I do think I did the right thing. It just sucks that I had to force... But they had that mana up, and I knew that was a possibility. This is a high skill card. I think this is actually maybe not broken. We'll see. I would love for this to not be so broken that everybody's just jamming 4 of it into Delver, and that we get to actually keep this, because this is a cool tool. Okay, they're 1 mana away. I need to hit that green source. All right, they are taking my thing, but what I have next turn is I have I have Wasteland on their green source. They're down to 1 card. That was not Beansy Leyline. They do it, so they're going to be up to 3 cards next turn. I have to keep them, like, the number 1 priority is keeping them from being able to cast the big guy. Just in case they have something here, I am going to Flow State. Like, I don't think they have Daze is their last card. That would be crazy, but that would suck if they have it. Okay, so here I will take the Fetch and the Bilby. I'm going to call him Bilby from now on. Or Bilbs or something. We need to come up with a cute name for him. We just took him off 2 colors. That's pretty good. But we're, like, totally rudderless here. If they have another Riddler, like, that's so devastating. I need them to just brick. Oh, no. I think we just lost. Yeah, they had, like, an insane draw. The fact that they were able to keep playing lands, and they have... Oh, man, they're so close to being able to play these out of Warp. They can crack the clue and everything. That was an insane 2-for-1. And, again, it's going to be another 2-for-1 in a minute. We need Wastelands. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and see what they're drawing. They can go get green with this. It's really hard. Like, I feel like we have to play. Oh, gosh, okay, I'm done. Well, they may shuffle that. They may shuffle that away to conceal information. They may be like, okay, I need to crack this clue and shuffle away the beans. The dramatic irony. Okay, they plow that. If they draw this beans, I'll just scoop. There's no catching up. So I got my card. No, there's nothing it could be. They drew it. Okay, good game. Yeah, they were on the play with a bigger control deck. Pretty much what I expected to happen happened. We got destroyed. They're going to draw so many freaking cards if we don't stop them. Erode comes in for sure. Because it deals with the big guys and it deals with the Tamios. And you can see, like, it's really a tug of war. And I'm not going to give you garbage time. If I think we're like sub 5%, I'm going to concede and go to the next game. Life's too short. Because, like, I'm not Reed Duke. Like, Reed Duke has infinite patience. Apparently he has nothing going on in life. He can just sit there and, like, top deck and wait for that 1% outer. But that's not me. If I were in, like, the top 8 at, like, Eternal Weekend, sure, I'll do that. But first I've got to get to the top 8 in Eternal Weekend. Okay. Dress down doesn't matter. None of these cards are good, but I think we do need the force negations here. So we're on the play this time. I'm going to trim some plows. Erode hits them. They showed that they do have basics, and it's dangerous to give them land. Just like in round 1, I think Prismatic Ending's mediocre here. But the thing Prismatic Ending can hit is, I think we actually keep it in case they get a carpet. Because, like, how are we going to win? We're going to restrict their mana. When they get a whole lot of mana, the game goes sideways very quickly. They could also have to Fairy, which is something you must shoot on sight. I don't think that Borrower does a lot in this matchup. It is a way to, like, get rid of Tommy that's about to ultimate, but let's not let it get to that. It's so interesting that, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Legacy just has so many different strategies, but, like, the core of Legacy has always been blue on blue violence. And that's the kind of Magic I really enjoy. Ever since the printing of Force of Will, I think Force of Will was like probably the card more than any card that cemented like Magic the Gathering as an eternal game. Just the skill involved in this card, and the ways that it enables strategies like mine that win on like turn 10. I don't think we need all the force negations. I'm not going to trim any dazes. I think I'm just going to trim the I'm just going to trim the prismatic. My instinct is we don't need it. So we have to keep their minute. I mean, this hand is insane. Yeah, we'll keep. All right, we're going to get our basic island here. So we like Surprise Wasteland would wreck us. And then I could just go get the other land with this later. But Tomio has to come down turn 1. That is the rule. The rules of engagement specify that if it's your first night at Fight Club, you must fight. Let's go and see what they're drawing. You know what? No, I can flip Tomio next turn. I'm going to just hold the bauble for next turn. And I could do it on one island, too, which is so sweet. Like, I'll miss a land drop unless I just randomly find one off the ponder. But I'm going to bauble during their turn, and then I'm going to ponder, and then Tomio will flip after I've created the clue. It's like a perfect... Like, Mishra's Bauble and Tomio are like PB and Jam, let me tell you. Like, I feel like this deck was almost, like, inadvertently designed. Pony's a fan of the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and jam our Tomio. Then I'm going to play the bauble out, and I'm going to crack during their upkeep. So I see what they're drawing. I tell people when they're new to Legacy, play Delver. But I actually think this might be better than Delver for learning the fundamentals. Like this blue-white tempo control, I'll call it. People hate like when you put Wastelands in your control deck. People, like random people on the internet will go off on you. It's not control if it's got Wasteland in it. It's tempo. And you know what you should say to those people? Okay. And then just move on with your life. All right. Let's see what we draw here. All right, we'll see what we draw after but they're drawing a land here, so that's good to know. I mean, this is what I consider this deck to be a control deck that is in touch with reality. The reality of facing game 1 Dredge, where you have to have lots of dazes when you're on the play. So we're about to go crazy. This is an opportunity for me to force pitching Lorien, which is a little risky because we might not find another land, but it's not that risky. So I am going to force with... I might hardcast Force Negation, but that's pretty far away. And if they force, then I will force again. Because I'm like, basically... No. I'm like fully in on Tomio here. Okay, well, that was a pretty big moment. They have Solitude. They don't have Solitude. Okay, good. So we need to find a land. And ideally a flow state. That would be the dream. So we draw off Bauble. Draw number 1. And if they had Solitude, that would have been the time to use it, by the way, before I had the ability to brainstorm. Okay, we're gaming. Let's attack. And this is what I call a perfect Tamio. And you can't normally do this unless you have 2 cantrips, but the bauble ensured that I could do it. And my opponent is just going to get Tamio'd here. Again, I almost said Tamio. With this off Texas drawl. Okay. Let's ponder here. Find a land. This isn't a land. I mean, these cards are insane, but we do have to shuffle this. I need a land. All right, flow state. That's great. I do need to ponder and find a land next turn. So I'm missing my land drop, but I'm getting a flip Tamio, and I have double force up. And I will use those forces to defend my Tamio, because my plan is to just win with Tamio Ultimate. Time-tested path to victory, even against giant control decks like that. They have Prismatic Ending, they've got Leyline Binding, they've got so many things they can fire at us. But they would need to go grab Bayou, which is an awkward land for them. And they can't grab that with Flooded Strand if they wanted the Leyline Bind. And I'll force the first one, pitching the Ponder, and I'll try to keep the flow state. But I feel very confident. If we Tamio Ultimate, we will win this game. All right, no Prismatic Ending. I also need to fight Beans, but now I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to force Beans. I don't know if I force anything other than Beans or Plow. Or I guess Plow doesn't even matter anymore. Beans or Prismatic Ending. They're not going to be able to Leyline Bind for another turn cycle. The conservative thing to do is to minus here and grab a force. But I think we're like so in on this strategy. Erode's a nice pickup. So I'm going to start with this, and I'll preserve the ability to minus if I need to. I should find a land here. I mean, there's no guarantee, but like I've looked at a lot of cards now. I've shuffled my deck since I looked at those cards. I will force a Bowmaster here. Okay, and this is great. So I'll just take this land. Wasteland is actually pretty good, but I do need to... No, I don't need to do anything. I'll just play the land and pass. I do want to make the land drop because I do... Once I get Tamio Ultimate, I need to have boots on the ground in terms of land. But what would I like to draw? Would I like to draw a Wasteland to... Because they're going to be trying to get Domain, and I can waste. I think that is better. Now I can force, and then I have the fallback of Flood Flow State. Yeah. So I do want the Wasteland if the opportunity presents itself. This is another reason not to play Surveil lands. People always ask me why I don't play Surveil lands. I do play sometimes. But when am I going to surveil? When have I had a good opportunity to surveil here? I need to keep that Wasteland on top. I need to keep mana up just in case they're a Daze deck. I don't think they're a Daze deck, but like Pokemoki, his shadow is very long in the Legacy community. His Bug Beans list. And you could absolutely play Bant Tempo Beans. I think playing Daze as a one-of is extremely strong. So they're going to fetch Surveil here? No? Okay, so they just need one more color in another land, and then they have the ability to Leyline Bind. And I have to force that. Okay, there it is. All right. Do you have Veil? If you have Veil, kudos to you. But I wouldn't bring in Veil against a non-black deck. They have Force Back. Okay, so we are going to lose the Tamio here. It's a bummer. They did go down to 3 cards to do this. And we still have our Clue. And we've got Flow State. But that was rough. So again, I want to emphasize, we had to take a chance. We could have minused, and like we're up against the permanent exile deck. They've got probably at least 5 ways to exile. I imagine they have at least one Prismatic Ending in their deck when they're playing that big of a deck. So I guess the question is, do we want the Wasteland? And I think the answer is absolutely. I'm going to waste that Xantid or that Xander's Lounge, and then I'll flow. I will have to shuffle away the Lorien, but that's not that big of a deal because I'm already making my land drop here. First things first, play this out just in case they have Daze. Just respect Daze just in case. Just in case. They almost certainly have a Wasteland in there. It seems like Beans players almost always play a Wasteland. I think that may be primarily so they can dig for something in case they're trying to use Uro. They may need to be able to remove a Caracas so they can actually close the game. All right. So let's go ahead and flow. We'll get our 2 cards. Unless they force this, which is also a 2-for-1. All right, Force Negation and Murk. And then we just jam Murk next turn. And that's the next question on the agenda. Which is better? I could just take them off green to remove the possibility of Carpet. Is that better than taking them off black? Yes, it is. I had to think about that for a minute, but I don't think there's much of a decision to be made here. And you could wait and do it in the upkeep if you think they're playing Stifle, but there's no way they can fit a Stifle in their deck. Okay. They didn't even float. That tells me they probably don't have Veil. Because you would float just in case. I don't know actually what I would cast with no mana out. Alright, we're in a pretty decent position, but like we will have to pitch our Murktide to force negation if they beans, but it's less likely they're gonna beans now they don't have green. And I almost went for this because this represents more color, this represents more domain, but they've already used one of these. So here I am, like getting better at Legacy, thinking things through. For a while I thought I plateaued, but like playing this deck just today, I can feel myself getting a little bit better. Being a little bit more decisive. And one of the pieces of advice I have for control gamers is play tempo, because tempo doesn't allow you to be indecisive. You have to be decisive because the game's getting worse for you every turn. And that is certainly what's happening here. The game is getting worse for us with each passing turn. And this erode will hurt because we are going to give them an island. They almost certainly have an island in their deck. My hope is that but there's no reason why they would fetch the island when they don't have green. They're going to need green where they're going. Right, and just to double check, they're not in the zone, so if they have Flow State in their hand, they may be holding it. Let's think about this. Brainstorm is a good draw. So we just make a full size, and then future Flow States are not good, but we have Force Negation to defend. I think we're supposed to. Because we're going to automatically have... Yeah, and like I said, the game's not getting better for us. So if they are heads up and they kill this during my turn, I can't do anything. They kill it during my turn. I can't do anything. Okay. It was worth a try. We still have the clue. We still have the brainstorm. There's still hope. We still have their next threat answered. If they warp in Riddler here... Okay, thank goodness. Hopefully they don't warp in Riddler. Because I can't deal with that efficiently. They will get a card. Well, they'll get 2 cards. Yeah, that would be devastating. And look, they've reestablished their mana. Fan of the channel knows what they're doing over there. Okay. That's a little too much erode. I do need to change this up. I'm going to try to find a fetch and something to do. I don't expect Bowmasters. They do have Bowmasters. Well, luckily, I have Bowmasters covered, but it's still ugly in the sense that there's a second body now. I've got tons of life. I could just tank this hit, but there's no way that that's correct. I am going to give them the land that they need to cast their big dude. And, yeah. So... very ambitious deck building. Let me tell you, Demented Child. I think I want to advance my plan. I'm going to put back the erode on top, and I'm just going to play out the Tarn. Then I have the option of shuffling it away if they don't do anything. But if they play like a... I mean, if they... like the thing that a lot of people may not realize is just how, on knife's edge Legacy is. When you're in a fair blue mirror, like... the difference of like 1 card, it means all the difference. If they get even 2 cards off of a Riddler, that means the game is over effectively. So I will be forcing Riddler. And the good news is I have the mana to force Riddler. But the bad news is I'm about to have to force a Beans, I think. Oh no, this is Riddler. We're going to get to stop it. No. No way, Jose. You cannot have that. That will be so many cards. All right, and now I am going to shuffle away the erode because I need better business. The Better Business Bureau is up in here, and they are saying that I need to improve the top of my deck. So let's go ahead and fetch away the redundant land, and the hits include Tamio, for sure. Plow, not what I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and just see if we can find a Tamio real quick. Time is of the essence. The game's slipping away. Flow State's great. Okay, so if they riddle, at least we can plow, and then they only get 1 card, which is a huge deal. But we're naked to beans. And also, I don't have a sorcery in my yard, so this Flow State's stinky, but I'm still going to fire it off. I mean, if I draw a ponder right now, that'd be a dream. Ask and ye shall receive. They have another one? Okay, so I have 2 options. One, I don't think this game's getting better for us. I could just let them take the additional hit and not plow. And then I can flow. I think I'm supposed to do that. Because otherwise, let's think about this. I don't have, a clean way to remove this. I'm not playing, Wrath of the Skies. Which a lot of people might be like, why isn't Wrath in your deck? Because usually, if Wrath becomes important, those matchups, you're probably already screwed if you're desperately just digging for it. It's good in some decks, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's correct for this deck when we already have tons of spot removal. But it would be good here, for sure. Actually, it wouldn't be good because we don't have enough mana. It's very mana intensive. Let's think about this. So we plow this. Then, I mean, there's a possibility they don't draw anything and we get another turn. I think I'm supposed to plow and maybe I find a Tomeo and then I did dodge like the thing growing and I saved myself a life. They could force negate that. Okay, they didn't. So what I'm looking for, I hate to say it, but I think I'm supposed to take this force and then leave the flow state on top. And that way I'm insulated against something degenerate they do here. And then I flow state maybe 2 times next turn. Okay. So actually that was a really live draw. Like getting that ponder was huge. I think this is extremely risky leaving this on the table. But it's just going to attack. They don't have anything else going on. They could blink the Leyline Binding and give me this and then just take it back. This could go sideways so fast. I know I have a Wrath. But if they have, let's say they draw like a Beans or something, then I should just counter that. How bad is this? I have 2 more removal spells in my entire deck. I actually think I'm going to force this. I respect the dog as a Stifle Pup player. All right. What did you draw? Dud, dud, dud. All right, I'll take my 2. Don't have freaking beans. I don't know how I've survived this long without a beanstalk hitting the table. They're a third of the way into their deck. Okay. This might be Hardcast Force. Should be very strong. Because I'm not drawing anything good after this. This has to resolve. Okay, and it's pretty good. Double dragon. Be double dragon. And now I have to wait a turn because I didn't take the land. But I'd rather have 2 dragons. So I'll make the first one tiny and the second one's going to be gigantic. Okay, land. That's a brick. What is the other card they drew? It might be the Leyline Binding. I'm trying to think of what they would hold at this point, or a plow, which is fine because the first dragon's going to be tiny. Double Dragon, classic 1980s game. I played it so much as a kid. I thought it was so cool. I'd run around on the street just like hoping to find people to fight. We're not even close. I could hold the Lorien just as pitch fodder, and then I can cycle it in step. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do here. Well, let's see. I can keep more cards in my graveyard. If I take a bunch of tiny stuff, they're going to know I have 2 dragons. I do need to shuffle. No, this was I cleared the top of my deck. I think I'm supposed to hold this. Yeah, I mean, if I draw a brick. Yeah, I've got plenty of stuff to do here. I'm just going to go all out here. I don't think that Daze is going to be the last card in their hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll give him 1 power. He's just a wee lad. Oh, no, I overpaid. Sorry. That was a punt. And it looks like, yeah, Bowmaster's coming in. That's fine. This grows him. I've only got a 4/4. If they have another Bowmaster, they could actually take this guy out. Yeah, I punted. But he'll be big next turn, let me tell you. So this is just like, okay, do you have a plow or a removal spell? If you drew that, you're in a very good position. They find a Brainstorm, which is great. That it probably finds the removal that they need. Or a force for my second one. But even if my second one gets forced, the first one grows. That was a very fast Brainstorm, unfortunately for me. But they don't have a way to clear the Brainstorm. I'm going to take a bunch of damage, and then I'm going to make a giant dragon. But then, like, am I even racing them? I don't think I am. Taking 4 here. I'm dropping to 9. Okay, that's stinky. But I'm actually kind of closer to Loriening. I have sorcery. I'm just going to make this a full-size boy. I need to be able to threaten the end of the game. Do instant, sorcery. So I have the Lorien in hand, and I can get back into the zone. I'm not going to play the Tundra out, just in case I somehow clear this. They may just have, if they have an answer, then we could probably scoop, because we're under a lot of pressure here. Gosh, man, they are just finding exactly what they need every turn. And if they find the Riddler, then that's like truly the end of the game. That's the real thing that's been bothering me this entire matchup, is that they're playing Riddler on top of Beans. Like half their deck is a hit at this point. I have actually seen more cards than they have, miraculously, thanks to Flow State. I'm starting to run low on win cons, too. I've got 1 dragon left in the entire deck. And they've got a lot of removal. They didn't shuffle. Oh, okay, that's why. So this could brick. They're looking at 1 additional card. They drew it. Oh, what? Missy? Oh. They are going to take the hit this turn. And I do think I'm supposed to attack. Because if they crack that, then they're technically dead. Let's draw something relevant. That is a bubble that I don't think I can use. Let's just attack. Yeah, there wasn't any way I could grow it. These have been great games. But very uphill games. And I've got a game 3 if I win this one, which I'm not going to. I'm going to play this just... I'm not going to be brainstorming anyway. Fetch to 8. So they're fetching to dead just to clear, like, shuffle. Now they got to surveil. If they brick, they're dead. If they keep this top card, then I can just concede safely because I don't know that they have an answer. They could bluff. Oh, you could always be like, oh, you're conceding too quickly. What if they're just bluffing? Like, how often do you actually do that, thinking your opponent's going to concede? Yeah, they kept. Well, I mean, that's a good card, but that's not necessarily the end. Well, they're still playing the game. They maybe just be, yep, we got it. We got it. Holy cow, that was an incredible game. Any changes? On the draw, Days is a lot worse. I mean, like, I think we're supposed to bring the plows in now that they're a Bowmaster deck. This is different from the deck we played earlier. We didn't see any Merc. I haven't seen them use their graveyard at all. So that makes me definitely not want to bring in Soul Guide Lantern. They probably are playing Merc, but if you think about it, like, there's no reason to play Merc. If you're fast, then you can just win with just getting insane value while you're winning. The problem with Merc is, yes, it's an incredible threat, but it doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't draw you any cards. It's just a giant threat that, like, is bricked by, like, a Narcomoeba or something. Like, well, for a turn cycle anyway. Yeah, so I definitely want this Force Negation in. It was very clutch in the first round. I could keep one of the... Do I want a Prismatic Ending? Like, maybe they're not playing Carpet. I don't know. Their deck is incredibly mana intensive. I think I just keep the one of Days. Do I even keep Days? The thing is, like, I always trick myself into thinking Days isn't, like, an absolutely insane card, but it is. Consign to Memory can stop the trigger on Leyline Binding, but that seems cute. I'm actually going to bring in a Prismatic Ending, and I'll get rid of one of the plows. Or I could get rid of a road. The only Planeswalker I've seen is Tamio. And then I could play the second Days. I think 5 removal spells is enough. Let's do it. That was an incredibly close game. They even found the freaking Beanstalk at the end. My opponent's playing very well. And I love their deck build. Okay, so this is a mulligan. We're playing 18 lands, so our likelihood of getting no landers is higher than typical. Like, a typical control deck would play like 20 lands. But we're playing the Lorians. Okay, this is a great hand. So what card do we not need from this hand? It is going to be this. Because if they carpet, I'll absolutely force that. So we haven't seen any Wastelands from them. So I'm not worried about just sticking this Tundra. Underground Sea Thoughtseize? Unfortunately, I put the... I'm kind of looking dumb for putting that card back. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I do think that this is a force. Because I put that card back. We just don't have a guaranteed way of clearing her. I'm going to keep the Force Negation. I might draw a blue card. They force back. Okay, so you know that you did the right thing when your opponent forces back. I could just force here and then waste them. Oh, no, I already let it resolve. I can't. I should have considered that. But I passed priority. Okay. So it's going to be Tamio on Tamio. They don't have white mana yet. All right. We have a Brainstorm now. We have Force to protect her but we don't have a good way to deal with Bowmaster, which we know they're playing. That is a Force of Negation. I don't want Tamio to flip immediately. They don't have land, and I'm going to bury them here. They're going to have clues, but they're not going to have mana to crack them, and I will eventually draw in a land. They have more lands in their deck, so they're actually more likely to draw in a land than me. Okay, so I'm going to attack, create my clue. This has been a very interesting game so far. They've got 3 cards in their hand. They're so favored if they find land, but I am going to shut them off their land, which makes it harder for them to cantrip. And I should have probably checked to see what they were going to draw there, but I want to do this during the upkeep so I have the potential to flip her, because I'm not going to have the mana to crack her clues, but I might be able to ultimate if I find any cantrip here. Oh, Paracoif. That's great. Oh my goodness, we're so lucky here. They're hellbent, or they're not hellbent, but they're manaless. What, mana bent? Mana screwed? Mana screwed doesn't describe it, because like they don't have lands, and they kept a totally reasonable hand that just happened to collapse to Wasteland. I don't think that they made any mistakes there. They had a strong opening. They had the Tamio flip. So I get my first card. Merc. Merc would be great, actually. Well, I can attack and I can stop their next spell. So if they have a cantrip or something, yeah, I'll stop it. I can't do anything else, though. I'm going to stack up clues. They're going to stack up clues. They're still favored at this point. They do find the land. And it's a white source. So Prismatic Ending's back on the table. Okay, they don't even attack? That seems weird. I think they should have attacked. All right, I'll attack. And no plays, unfortunately. Yeah, this happens. I don't think I made any mistakes. Yeah, I mean, like, They would have gotten a brainstorm. Oh, man, they got the second land? That's so bummer. Now they can start cracking their clues, and I can't. That's so bummer. I think I just coined a new expression. That's so Raven. All right. I've never seen that show. Oh, we got the land, but it is a dirtly one. I'm going to attack. Is this the time when... Okay, she's in for another turn. All right, so I'm about to unlock my my land. This has to happen. And then if they don't daze... I think at this point, like, I'm so far behind. Like, I've got all these clues, but it'll take all my mana. Okay, what is this? Are you going to stifle this? They have a Bowmaster? I will stop a Bowmaster, let me tell you. I'm not going to let a... Oh, okay. I think they have Bowmaster. All right. Bilbo's great, actually. If I stick Bilbo, that does move things forward. This is a daze. I don't care about Tomio anymore. She's created a bunch of clues, but I do need to be able to draw cards off Bilbo. Okay, we stopped it. That would put a damper on pretty much everything we're doing over here. Okay, one flip, but because they grabbed the scrub to get, like, do they not? They probably should have grabbed it by you. Could they not grab by you? Because then they would have more colors. I guess they couldn't grab by you with flooded. Okay, and now they're, like, the game's basically over, I think. I do have a road that I'm drawing to if they flip her. If they flip her with beans, then it's, like, truly tragic. This has been a great match, but it's not a match I expect to win. All right, so I think the Hail Mary is we just go ahead and jam the Merc here. Then they have two threats that they have to target. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll leave the bobble in the yard in case Bilbo sticks, but I think we do need to pressure them. This also stops them from attacking. It's not a big deal. They're cracking clue. The first clue crack of the game. Luckily, there's no Urza Saga in their deck. My goodness. Urza Saga plus Tomio is really disgusting. And I might do a deck like that soon. I saw Torgus MTG did a video with blue-white with Bilbo, and he was playing Urza Saga, and it's a sweet build. It's a crazy build. Like, half his opponents concede for, like, random reasons, and he gets a trophy. It's great. Check it out. Usually he does, I think, like, Portuguese or Spanish content, but this time, oh, Barry. Yeah, I forgot about Barry. That's going to be a problem, huh? I can't race a Barry. I need to find a plow. They must have... Why would you throw that away? Okay, they thought the better of it. Okay. Options. 1, we plow this bastard. Or 3, we prismatic end him, but we can't. Options. I think we're supposed to try to find another removal spell. Remember that last minute substitution where I took out the erode and put in the prismatic ending? I'm looking like a genius, aren't I? So let's go ahead and crack this. Wasteland doesn't do enough. Let's think about this. So I end this and I just attack, and then they attack and I chump. That doesn't seem like it's going to get me there. I stick Bilbo next turn and he chumps, and meanwhile I'm attacking, but like I just can't get enough damage in time. I think this is the line. Like there's a small possibility I draw another Merc and that could do it. So I am going to go ahead and just remove this so I can get through. It's an annoying permanent anyway, because it might flip and cause chaos. If they have a brainstorm, the game's over. But like I need to do something here. I'm going to offer up my Tomio. This is so mediocre because I'm netting like 2 damage, but I don't think it's correct to just hang back against Beargoyf. They have 3 cards in hand. They've got a lot of clues. They can gain more mana. Yeah. The other option, of course, if I had more time to think, if I could, like, you know, when they play chess at a high level, they got like an 8-hour clock and they'll just like walk away and eat lunch and think really hard about a move and stuff. If I had that luxury, I probably would have considered just keeping the Merc back and playing defensively. But that does, like, we're unfavored in a longer game. So now I offer up Bilbo. And they got a card advantage. And, like, we did all that for 2 life. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win. I can crack clues. I can crack clue and deploy Bilbo. But really what I'm looking to do is get another Merc and get this up to 8 toughness and 4/4, which is not big enough to stop him. Like, I just need to keep cracking clues until I find a plow. Or, yeah. Unfortunately, 2-color decks can't prismatic ending for 3. Beargoyf is definitely a blind spot of the deck, but the idea is your opponent just doesn't get the Beargoyf out. And it's not really a blind spot. I mean, we got 4 plows. It's just that I decided, because I was so afraid of... Yeah, I think even when I was sideboarding for game 2, I was like, no, I'll just deal with Carpet on the stack. I'm not going to play prismatic ending just for Carpet. Okay, this game just ended. I'll keep playing. Let's go ahead and do this. They have the Bowmaster. Oh, the Plow. All right. Well, we could win on clock. That's about all that could happen here. I'm gonna brainstorm. I might find a Plow, and then might be able to win on clock. This is over. I'm not gonna do that. This game is so over. We'll play it, opponent. All right, it is time for some serious sparks up against Harmony Woods. Such a strong player, and of course, creator of the deck that I've been rocking a lot. I like to call it 8 threat. I don't know what Harmony Woods calls it. She probably plays it calls it just like blue black tempo. So I'll just start like this. Now we have days up. We're not going to want to daze liberally, so she's almost certainly on the deck that is playing Beargoyfs and Nethergoyfs, or not Beargoyfs. Well, I think she does have. Fine, I'm not going to fight that. So Murktide is hard for her to kill. She has Snuff Out, so I want to work toward a Murktide victory. I'm going to waste this land unless I draw something better. Okay. Now I kind of think I'm just going to flow state for no value, just to get deeper into my deck. Yeah, I need to get a sorcery in my... wasting them is probably going to be folly. It also puts a type in their yard. I think she's not playing... I'm so used to calling people they. She is not playing Bowmaster main. So I think this is just a Ponder. And they are... she's going to hit me. And then I can... Yeah, I just want to be tactical about deploying this daze, but I actually think I should be liberal about it because I need to get the Murktide in. That's how we win. I'm going to daze that. She may daze back, which is fine, but this slows things down a little bit, which is what we need to do. She dazes back, and she's got a land drop, so this is good. Do I want to force this as well? If I force, it puts more cards in my graveyard. I don't need this Borrower. I think this game is going to be all about Murktide, and I can't win if she has a Murktide on the table and I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and force the Borrower, or force it, which may seem totally extreme. She forces back, so she agrees that this is worth fighting over. All right. And land and immediate value. Nethergoyf is a 3-4. Okay. Ponder follow-up. So now Nethergoyf's a 4-5. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. She only has 9 threats in the entire deck, including Brazen Borrower, so this was a very aggressive hand. She may have found another land. There's no way to know off that Ponder. So I could Ponder and Murk here. Okay, let's take a look at the graveyards. The graveyards are going to be very instrumental here in this matchup. I'm going to see what she's drawing, and I think what I'm going to do is Ponder and waste, because I can't quite get to Murk this turn, and Ponder makes it bigger. She's drawing Ponder. I'm going to waste, and then I'm going to Ponder. And the reason I'm going to do it that way is because she can't daze. That does grow her Moonshadow. Let's Ponder. Tamio is a great follow-up, but I don't think we have time for Tamio. I think I need to find a Plow. But I need to also find a white source. So I'm going to Murk, and if she has another daze or a force, we'll just go to the next game. But if I get the Murk down, I can maybe race. No, I don't think I can race. I think I need to find a second Murktide, which is a crazy thing to be trying to draw to. So if I find a white source, I can Plow one of these threats, which will grow my Murk. Okay, force, not the greatest. Maybe what I could have done, I forgot about that bubble. Maybe I could have kept that Ponder with the intention of just drawing a blue card and a force. Okay, wow, we're taking so much damage here. So if I get the Murk down and then I Plow the Moonshadow, we might be able to stabilize it. I think that's the only path forward, frankly. I have to get the Moonshadow off the table because it's evasive. I'm at 7. Okay. She gets a card. Okay, that is the second Murk that I wanted, but I don't think it's going to arrive in time. So this is a 4-5. So I need to make this at least 5 toughness. Let's get rid of the daze, and I will leave a sorcery, I'll leave a sorcery in the yard. Then I'll have my force up. And yeah, hopefully this is good enough to beat back the Goyf. I have to force a daze here. Okay. So now she's still hitting me, and basically my out is I draw a plains or a tundra, and then I'm able to Plow, and then I can stabilize. That's literally all I can think of. And I do have to force a... Oh, man, this is growing. Yeah, they have the snuff out. Okay. So now, literally, it's like... It's Tundra or a cantrip into Tundra to kill this, which I'm taking 5. I'll be at 1 for the rest of the game. And I just have to hang back. But they don't have Bowmaster. What is the other card? Like Flow State or something? They're pushing their own creature to get lethal. Yep, good game. Well played. Okay, and I lost that one on the play, which tells you like this deck is extremely strong. I've been having like 4-1s with it and stuff. And of course, she's very strong. So Soul Guide absolutely comes in. Very good against the deck. Erode comes in. They only play 1 basic. Dress Down is not bad in the sense that it can make their creatures like completely nerfed. I actually think that might be a consideration. What do we not want? Well, what we're going to do is we're not going to try to tempo their deck. Their deck is so much lower to the ground than ours. I'm just going to try to remove all their threats. They only have 8 threats in the deck. Or they go up to like maybe 12. And we have 7 removal spells. I don't think Borrower is where we want to be. One of the problems is Bilbo is really weak against their deck because they have so many ground threats. But Bilbo is really good with Soul Guide Lantern. And I think we can keep the ground clear. I'll just trim a bubble. They're going to probably bring in 2 Bowmaster and 2 Baraglyphs. I do want to keep the Force. Do I want to keep the Force? Maybe I don't want the Force. Maybe I just want the Dazes. I think I'm going to do that. On the play, I'm going to just... Because every card matters here. And we're going to keep their lands in check. They have like 18 lands. They're razor thin mana base. Yeah, this is great. All right, and I can bobble just to get through it. I can actually bubble myself. See what I'm drawing. I love doing that. And I will be fetching white. Bilbo is great. I'm not going to be fetching that away. Okay, Bilbo will be awesome. So now I've got a thing to do. 2 removal spells. I'm very hyped about that. Let's organize my hand. Moonshadow resolves. And now I'll just spend this turn getting rid of Moonshadow around days. Land. Fetch. And I think this is efficient use of this because I don't want to be using my Plow. Plow is like so good. Because Plow can hit Berry. And so I used my worst removal spell already, which is great. They may waste here. They do have waste. Moonshadow. If I daze, that means I can get Bilbo out. I think I'm supposed to just take this. And then I fetch another one. Yeah. I will fetch. And then I'll attempt to ponder. I could have saved my land there by like burning 2 cards. I don't think that's correct. I'm actually going to be a coward. I'm on an island. I'm going to need to find more land anyway. And I should have done that after I drew because I would have had a slightly higher likelihood of finding land. They may daze this. Soul Guide Lanter's good. Wasteland is good. I can just play it now, but then I'm like trapped. I can just brainstorm next turn though. I think I'm supposed to waste here. It grows the Moonshadow though. The other option is, they have no graveyard. Soul Guide Land, this just isn't that good. I mean, Flow State would be great, but I just need a land. I'm just going to try to find land. Didn't get paid out. Okay. So we're just going to pass. We have Brainstorm. They may have Bowmasters. I have Daze for Bowmasters. I'll Daze basically anything here. I'm not guaranteed to draw anything. I'm just going to Daze this. And then if they don't have a land, I'll know that Wasteland is good. Yeah, they don't play a land before they attack, which is when you usually play it. Just to simplify decision making. Okay, I did draw a land, so I'll just chill. I'm not going to Brainstorm. Taking 2 damage per turn. They do find a fetch. Okay, that's pretty bad. And the land I found was the island, unfortunately. But the risk of me having a bunch of cantrips in hand and no blue source was real. Spellbomb is annoying, but I'll deal with it. If they crack it, it grows both of their creatures. Yeah, I don't know that... a Plow right now would be great. So let's try this. If they daze it, it's pretty ugly. Oh, no. I can play the Tomio, but I'm going to have to Brainstorm through the Tomio. I'm taking so much damage is the issue. These back. Actually, they could Thoughtseize me. Bilbo is so stinky here because I just don't have the mana. I could play him next turn, but I think I need to Tomio and then block and then Brainstorm. So we're going to play a Tomio. She can't block this turn, but she can block next turn. We're going to take a ton of damage. And Brainstorm has to hit a fetch. Gosh. Let's think about this. So, yeah, I'm not going to double daze this. I'll just take the damage. Now I have nothing going on, basically. They grow this. How much damage are we taking? I actually don't know. We Brainstorm. We hit a fetch. We Plow one of the creatures. I think we might still be dead to the other creature before we untap and are able to cast the second Plow. I'm taking 8? Okay, yeah, this is just slaughter. We've been able to play both of these games. So I think like we're definitely the inferior tempo deck, which shouldn't be a huge surprise to anybody. They may force this. Okay, yeah, that's the end of the game. Well played. That was a brutal string of losses, but I hope you're still with us. We're going to give it all in our final round. Final round up against Max Torsion. We're getting to play against some heavies here. It's probably just a combo deck. But like I'm not going to bother looking him up because he plays something different every time. So, yeah, I'm going to keep the... Like, I think probably the deck that he would be playing... He always plays spiky decks. I guess I could check. Let's get some insight. And then we can ponder with relative confidence because we do want to ponder so we can get closer to our flow state. The bubble, so almost certainly like a Bilbo action over there. I'll keep the fetches for later. I'm going to go ahead and reveal what I'm on, and I'm going to ponder. And we're just going to try to get closer to flow state. Daze seems like a good take here. These cards are great. So I'll take the Daze, and then I have 2 layers of protection. And I have a potential turn 3 in the zone flow state if I Daze something or force. I guess technically if I force, I could have a turn 2 flow state. All right, and this doesn't happen every day, but Max Torsion says his cat threw up. So he needs a minute. All right, bubble goes off. We draw the brainstorm. We're going to draw the land anyway. I keep forgetting about these bobble triggers. My goodness. Okay, there's their bubble. So yeah, the fact that we're drawing the land makes me want to brainstorm pretty badly. So I don't think we pitch the brainstorm. Are they on the Harmony Woods deck too? Or is this straight blue-black tempo with Bilbo? Well, I do think that this is just a brainstorm shuffle turn. They haven't given me any reason to put an instant in my yard. I'm not going to kill another wolf when I have all the removal in my deck that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this out, and I'm just going to immediately brainstorm, and I'm going to try to, like, I would like to find a plow or something, but I need to put back these lands. There we go. That's good. So I'll put back Redundant Tomio. Do I want to put back Redundant Tomio? I actually don't know that I do. So it may be reckless for me to shuffle away both lands, but I have Lorien. Lorien's better because it's a force pitch if they don't have a Wasteland. Yeah, I actually am going to put back the other land. Now I'll just go get another Tundra. I'm not going to show any fear here, and I'm going to attempt a Tomio. So I can assert my playstyle, which is different from theirs. They may actually have Tomio in their deck. Okay. They have Snuff Out, which is a free spell. But they are a skill player, and they're not going to play into Daze. Petty Theft. I can just Daze this so I don't have to deal with the body. I think it's totally fine. Okay, they don't Daze back. Great. So it is a creature in the yard which grows the Goyf. That's notable. I think this is a flow state turn. Wasteland is not even the slightest tempting here. Yeah, I want to get further ahead. I think if they had a Daze, they would have Dazed there. But like they're on the next level. Like literal like champion of North America Vintage. They won the Eternal Weekend last year. So don't underestimate them. But yeah, I think the flow state here is pretty good. They may force. They do force. Do I chase? I need to find my plows. I'll pitch Redundant Tomio. Is that correct? I don't actually think that's correct. I think I'm supposed to pitch the Lorien. So I'll take a Merc too. Plow's great. Brainstorm. Now if they do have consecutive forces, Wastelands, I'm in trouble. But I'm going to clear this pressure unless they have Kaito. Kaito would be a nightmare. Thoughtseize takes my plow. That's very strong. They maybe they take the Brainstorm. No, there's no world in which they take the Brainstorm. They took the Brainstorm. Interesting. Okay, well, like maybe they have another one. Okay, yeah, they have another one. All right. So I'm on a 1-turn clock. Crazy. I don't think I crack this. I think what I do is I plow one of them. That has to happen. And then I am going to just see what... I can't draw anything. I do just want to do it now before... Yeah. There was no window where I could like double crack. Next turn I could if I wanted to keep... Well, I'll keep one of these clues around. So yeah, I can double crack next turn and flip her. But I'm taking 5 almost... Yeah, I'm definitely taking 5 here. I'll just do this around Bowmasters. Prismatic Ending is an answer if they don't have another Thoughtseize. But we'll be stabilizing at a very low life total. Brainstorm. Merc could come out and I can't deal with Merc. I can regrow. If I flip, then I can regrow. But I can't do that next turn. Their own Tomio. They're down to 1 card. There's that. I have to actually kill the Nethergoyf, sadly, and leave them with the Tomio. I'm not happy about that. Okay. Yeah, there's no future for me if this gets countered. I have to do this. Let's just see what happens. There is Kaito that could come down next turn. There's certainly a temptation to waste. I think I'm supposed to waste to respect Kaito. Do they have the push? They flip blue. Okay, are they going to brainstorm now? If they have brainstorm, they had such an insane hand. They've already used a brainstorm too. They let it burn off. I think I waste again. I know it's crazy, but I think it's correct. They have so many insane cards they could rip here. Now if they daze, it's awkward. They can't cash in the clues. I can start cashing in my clues next turn. They have two cards in hand. They have a land. Okay, so maybe that Wasteland was in error because I could have drawn. If they have flow state, it'll be so devastating. Okay. So I think this is Bowmaster, sadly, which is going to be the death of us. I brick. I'm actually supposed to draw before so I can at least block one of the creatures. But yeah, I think they have Bowmaster. I'm going to just do this now. Okay. They didn't have Bowmaster. Well, that's good. I mean, there's a world in which Lorien gets cast. Maybe they just drew a land. I don't know. They may just crack the clue in the end step. But if they're working toward Kaito, they're going to get there, unfortunately. I could end step Lorien. I think it is better as a card. Okay, it's just a clue. High level magic back and forth. They attack. And again, if you're wondering why I cracked these beforehand, I needed to know whether I was supposed to attack because I'm so low in life that I might have to just keep Tomio back. Please waste me. Okay, that's actually fine. I don't want Kaito coming down. That's what I'm really worried about. Now I can waste back. It does give them a clue crack. This is a dangerous game we're playing. I want to see if they play like a Bowmaster and then I can crack the clue. Okay, they're just cracking a clue. All right, so I can attack and then I'm just going to immediately cash in the clue. A lot of wasting going on here, back and forth. And as they say, when two players are wasting one another, one of them is wrong. My theory is that it's not me that's wrong, because obviously why would I do it if I thought it was wrong? Draw a round Bowmaster. Another Wasteland. I might be able to waste them out of the game. That would be a crazy finish, but it won't last. They have 19 lands in their deck. Wow. I'm cheesing. We're cheesing. It won't matter if they have a Brainstorm, by the way. Ponder. Okay. They're desperately looking for land here. If they waste me again, they'll definitely be in error. But they don't know that yet. How many wastes did I get? Did I get all 4? I did. Shuffle. Shuffle. They kept. Oh, and they have Wasteland. Do it. Do it. Yes. I think I'm going to win this game. It's not every day that you beat Max Torsion. We'll see. Maybe I'm prematurely celebrating. Bye-bye, land. Hopefully they don't have another one. I will probably force a cantrip at this point. Like, that's how all in I am on this strategy. I could definitely pitch my redundant Tomio and... Because, I mean, I've got more than enough... They had a land. They can't do anything with it. But is that the swamp? The snow swamp? Yeah, it's a cool land. Windows. I'm going to wait a turn. All right, so I can cash my clues in. They can't. I definitely want to Lorien, but I'll do that next turn. I'm just going to keep creating clues and cashing them in and trying to get a little bit of advantage, a little bit of warmth in this cold, cold world. Again, doing it around Bowmaster is very important here. All right, I've got double force. I'm feeling pretty good. If they draw another land, though, it's all bets are off. They do. Ugh. I couldn't keep them down. They just kept finding land. I've wasted them 4 times. They still have land. Yeah, Bilbo is a force. They could have a daze at this point, but I just can't let that hit. That's fine. I'll just play another one. So I do want to keep the cards going. Do I draw land? Yeah. Well, I'll definitely just play this out, and I'm gonna go ahead and crack and play a clue. I think I still have 1 Tundra left in the deck. I might not. Okay, I've just got islands, but like they would need all 4 to get me off. They've used 2. Okay, we just got to land. All right, we're going to pass. So I have force up. They could have days, but I can stop their next big card, and now we're both drawing 2 cards per turn cycle. But they're drawing to Kaito, which kills me. Like, just straight up murks me. I'm trying to murk, which is insane. They've already used their snuff out, just in case they got a spirit guide in there. All right, this is a force for sure. I just can't let them flip her. I don't have a good answer. Okay. Now, can I draw the murk, please? I'll flip mine. I don't actually want to use this fetch. It's just too dangerous, in my humble opinion. There's the plow and the murk. These cards are absolutely insane. Okay, let's think about this. So we do want to crack, and I want to plow this turn cycle, but I also want to flip her. I think I'm supposed to hold the plow, I think I just Merc now, and then they can't attack in. That's the line. I'll flip her later. How do I want to do this? I want to flow next turn. Merc now. All right, and if they held up a daze, they are an absolute genius. I will play this out just in case I have to pay for days. I think that's still better than just losing. But this is very much like, okay, I'm all in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, how'd we do? We're full size boy. They have one snuff out left in the deck that deals with this. Maybe, no, they've already used their borrower. I think they lose to this. They're attacking in. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, they changed their mind. They still have, like, at least 3 turns, though. And they've got plenty of clues to crack. But I don't think they have any answers. What? Okay, well, I'm going to block this. They have so many clues. Why would they do this? Am I missing something? Okay, they're just going to flip. Okay, that makes sense. So I'll just kill her. That is an extra turn they get, though. They could find the snuff out. They could find it. I have flow state coming and a plow. But if they kill this, then I don't have a good way to pressure Tamiyo. But I am going to kill Tamiyo. They find a land. Okay, so they have clues to crack. This is such a great game. My goodness. I can't believe this game won. So I'll just attack Tamiyo here first. Gotta kill her. I'm like so dead to Bowmasters, it's not even funny. I definitely need this plow. I think that might be what they're going for here. Is like a Bowmaster victory. They have Bilbo. They may not be playing main deck Bowmaster. Alright, so they have 1 card in hand. I'm about to get 2 cards. Plow. Plow, I think, is the way. Bilbo's fine, but I don't need cards. I'm going to pass. I'm not going to draw. Obviously, I don't want to put myself to 1 life. If they find a couple Wastelands, they can wreck my hand. They just draw off their clue. I think if they try to snuff, I'm actually going to just plow my own Bowmaster to get me out of the danger zone so I have a little bit of breathing room. All right. Since I have double plow up, I think I'm supposed to go ahead and draw first before I do anything. I'll test the waters with the ponder, and then if they Bowmaster, I can double plow. Okay, this is fine. I don't need these cards. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for... What am I looking for? I think I'm just trying to flip Tamiyo, frankly. Okay, that's actually great. That's a land I can play painlessly. Okay. Now I am going to come across like this. And now what I can do is I can flip Tamiyo, and they would have to have days. Let's go ahead and do that now. And if they have Bowmaster, I'm dead. But they may have just given up the game because they only have 1 more answer in their deck. Yeah, I was also looking for Merc. Merc number 2 would have been pretty good there. So I'll just pass. Again, if they have the end step Bowmasters, I'm not dead because I have Tamiyo. But I'll be at 1. If they have double Bowmasters, that would kill me. No, I would just plow my own dude. And then I just try to win off Tamiyo. But that would be a very long game. And it's already been a long game. That has to resolve. They're low on mana, though. They've got 1 turn to find the snuff. They actually can play the snuff, but then they'll be at 1. Wow! Took it down versus blue-black. So I think the Harmony Woods definitely feels scarier than this deck. Because this is like the deck we're up against right now is like a mid-range deck. So I'm going to do my strategy of bringing in Erodes, Soul Guides, and I'm going to cut my Dazes, and I'm just going to assume this is going to be a very long game. And I'm also going to cut... I want Borrower because they may have their own Merc. What do we cut? I'll just cut a Bauble because they're a Bowmaster deck. All right, and Dress Down is absolutely something you can consider bringing in too, but I don't think it's great. This is a Wasteland of the Lorien hand, but this hand is freaking strong, so I'm going to keep it. Like, I'll just go get a basic... No, I don't want to get a basic island because I might get run over by freaking Nethergoyfs. This is a dangerous hand. Okay, they're going to take my Lorien, which I didn't even think about that, but yeah, they'll absolutely take Lorien here. But I have the Tamiyo Brainstorm combo if I just randomly draw a land, but no, I don't. Okay, let's draw a land randomly. Okay, well, I'm going to play this out. I'm not going to waste... Because if I waste, I'm not live for Lorien anymore. They could waste this, and then I'll just sit around and wait. If they waste, I'll waste back. Douthie, that's not a big deal as long as I find my land. All right, we're going to chill. That was a very strong play at the beginning. And yeah, like, I'm a tempo deck. Like, it's not intuitive to keep the Thoughtseize in your deck. I thought they would probably board it out, but yeah. Yeah, after that really good performance the previous game, I am now having a pathetic performance. If I find a land within the next turn cycle, I'll be okay. I think we can wrap this up, though, because, yeah, let's just go to the next game. I want to preserve my clock in case we have like an insane clock slammer. So I'm on the play again, and that was a huge asset in game 1. Do we want to bring the daisies back in? I don't think we do. I think I'm just going to play to a long game. I think I'm favored in a long game. This is an okay hand. I'm just going to bobble myself because I need action. That's not true. I'm going to play the fetch and I'm just not going to do anything because I want to get a perfect brainstorm. Yeah, let's just get some information here. They're drawing a flow state. That's good to know about. I will play this and pass. Now I have the option of... I mean, I don't think we ever go for basic island from this position. Tomio's an insane rip, by the way. Bobbling me right back. I'm not going to move to preserve information. Gosh, Thoughtseize is so good. I miss Thoughtseize. If I let him take my Tomio, I don't think I'm supposed to let him resolve this. I'm going to let him 1-for-1 me. They're going to take my Tomio for sure. And then I'm just going to chill here. But again, like the long game favors me. How many answers do they even have for Murktide in their deck? I think they have 3. They don't have any early pressure. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Love, love, love my Tomio. Okay. Now I will force a protector. Because I think... No, I don't need to... Like I can brainstorm and then I can force. They are in the zone yet? No, they're not. Bilbo. I think I'm supposed to force this because they have the bobble. Yeah, I'm just going to force. This is an engine. It's a strong card. I'm going to respect it. This is a turn where I flip Tomio. I draw my Bilbo. I like that. Let's go ahead and... Oh, they could double daze here. I'll do it after combat. I'm going to play the Wasteland out first. They have Brazen Borrower to fix this. I think that's it. And we drew nutty cards. Such good cards. I think I'm supposed to hide the Merc because that'll be like how we win. And I don't need this land. Actually, I think I put back... Did I put back Bilbo? I have a Bobble in my graveyard, but I can't Merc and Bobble. I think Merc is so much stronger than Bobble here, though. So I'm going to put back this. And then I can draw a card. Well, if I put back the Lorien, yeah, then I can decide whether I want to draw. Merc's not going to be very big right now. So I'm definitely putting back the land. The question is, do I go ahead and draw a card now? And I think the answer is yes. Because now I can draw a card and be mana efficient without this. So I am going to put back the lands, and I'm going to trust that I'm going to draw a land here in a bit. I'm going to keep the gas. Okay, and I think we're very favored in this position. I just don't want to screw it up. So I'm going to go get my other Tundra. And I'm going to immediately draw so I don't have to worry about Bowmasters. And just mana efficiency. And if they still... Oh, well, that's good. They could definitely Thoughtseize me here, but like they're going to need to do something about the Tomio. They may have Long Goodbye or something like that. This is... Oh, that's good. Yeah, that answers it. That's their one of. So I get my Tomio back. I'm going to wait on the Merc because he'll get bigger. Actually, maybe I don't wait on the Merc. Let's see. So it's just a 5/5. It's not that big. Like another Netherwolf might actually outsize it. Okay, so Wasteland is definitely never going to aim at their deck. I don't even I don't have the daisies in, so I definitely should never use my Wasteland. Okay, another land is fine. This gives me Bobble. Like I think I double threat here. Play Tomio out. Any interaction? Play a Bilbo. Any interaction? And they do have Flow State here. They have an instant in their yard now. They still don't have an instant in their yard. They can't flow yet. They need a brainstorm first. The Fatal Push would work. Inquisition. Well, I can take the Erode, but it can't take the giant Murktide that's about to hit him in the face. But it does give them heads up like, oh, I need to save my snuff for Murktide. They did just make the Murktide bigger, too. They Thoughtseize me. Fatal Push. Okay, that makes sense. Surveil. Okay, so this is definitely the Murktide turn. They're not wasting me. Interesting. Like, I would definitely waste from this position. Okay, let's go ahead and play this out. I'm just going to see what they're drawing. Barry. That is something that could definitely race me. They may know about that. I don't think they do, though. I'll attack. I am going to cash in a clue, so I'm going to make this full size. Even though, like, I could pay more mana. I want to cash in the clue. But I'm going to do it after I have ensured that I don't get days. I don't think they have days in on the draw, but that'd be a very embarrassing loss. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of my creatures. I'll leave my artifacts blue. Do they have the force? They don't. Let's draw a card. They can block for a turn cycle off of Brazen. Land for turn. I think we hold it for surprise. Draw trigger. More land. Okay. We really need this Murktide to work. Flow state. That's still just a stinky one, right? No, they have the Fatal Push. They get 2 cards. If they find a land, they can absolutely bury me, literally. Yeah, they have Barragoyf. So Barragoyf will very effectively race me, I think. I'm going to get the first crack, but Barragoyf will be big. They're tapping for blue mana, which may mean they're going to do stuff before they deploy Barragoyf. They may have a Merc of their own. Their Merc will be bigger, but I have Plows. Oh, it's just flow state. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure why they didn't just play Barragoyf there. Maybe they're afraid that I have Daze. But, like, Barragoyf is so strong here. They could just be, have Snuff out in their pocket. Now we're all in on Murktide, going the distance here. I need to probably waste them this turn. Actually, this doesn't do a lot because I got rid of all my instances sorceries. I'm going to do it first. I'll do it like this, preserving optionality of wasting them. Take the Ponder. I think I need to play this island out so I can ponder, and then I have the ability to shuffle away one of the bad ones. I hit their graveyard. And I draw Lorien next turn. I think that's good enough. Lorien does work. I don't want this force ever. I can cast Lorien. Take Soul Guide now. Now I use this. I hit my own card. This will shrink Berry. Let's get rid of the Ponder here to grow my dude. Now if they fetch, dead in 2 turns. I don't think they have a Murktide. I guess the real question is, are they playing Murktide alongside Barragoyf? If they are, it makes sense to just hit their graveyard now. Seal that off. I think I'm going to be a coward. Okay. And now they can still Barragoyf, but he's not very big, and I think I can kill them before Barragoyf wins. They need to find the Snuff out. Barragoyf's in. So I've got Lorien revealed here. We've got Tamio as well, which will block for a turn cycle. So we know the top card is jank that we don't want, so I'm going to fetch now. Let's go ahead and do this. Blue, just in case we hit a Plow or something, which I would recklessly cast into... Do you have the force? Oh, it's so disappointing. All right, well, I am going to attack, and they probably just chump here to stay alive and not drop to 0, but they may just go into the breach here. No, they're blocking. 4/5. They were going to brainstorm too. Oh, that's so brutal that my Lorien gave me just jank. I've drawn so many lands here, but it is what it is. I feel like I've navigated this game really well. I'm proud of myself, even though I'm going to lose here to this freaking. Yeah, and they have another chump in the thing. I needed to find a Plow, and I didn't find one. It is worth noting that I can, if they don't find another Barragoyf here, which they probably will. They found a Bilbo. So they got Bilbo now. Yeah, this is just going to snowball. And I could have, what could I have done? I could have, had force to ensure that I could stop Barragoyf, but I just didn't think that I was going to freaking Lorien into 2 lands after putting a land back. Because I shuffled away a land. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm salty. This is... This is not a good flow state. Another chump blocker. Yeah, this game just fell apart. I don't know, even without the Barragoyf, they may have been able to win here just because my draws were so bad. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Wait, if I play this out, then I can hardcast a force. It doesn't grow it at all, though. Does it? 1, 2. Yeah, it does grow it. 1, 2. And I'll take out all the artifacts, I guess. So do they have an artifact over there? They don't. Okay. Bubble. Okay, wait. I can take creature. Wait a second. Let me think about this. How small can I get this? I don't think I can get it small enough. Let's think about this. So, bubble. They're going to be flow stating next turn, but I can at least block. So I definitely want the full power here. No, I don't even need... No, I probably do need the full power. This is going to be a kill Tamio turn. It doesn't even matter. So wait, maybe the play is don't make them big. Just 1, 2... So I take the creature out. Take the artifacts out. Barragoyf is only a 3/4. So I do need to take one... Yeah. I can't hit all the artifacts and the creature, unfortunately. Yeah, it would be cool if I could do that, but I can't. So I'll just take the creature here and a couple of the artifacts, I guess, in case I get an opportunity to get rid of another artifact later. All right, and then I'm just going to pretty much have to attack Tamio here. I don't think there's any option not to. And then I mean, I could just block, but I think that's a losing proposition. And they're just going to block anyway. So this is a 5/6. I couldn't get it big enough. Oh, it's 4/5. Oh, but it'll grow now. Yeah, maybe I wasn't supposed to attack there. I don't know. Like, I'm so far behind. I don't think there's really anything to do. I will force whatever they play here, though. I'm not going to completely, stop playing the game. I don't think the life total is going to make a big difference here. They have plenty of other things they can do after this, but at least I'm stopping one thing. Putting another sorcery in case I draw Murktide number 3. I guess that's one out that I still have. They can Bilbo to do stuff. Bilbo will die in combat. So they're basically cashing in Bilbo. They're brainstorming with Bilbo on this. That's the card they targeted. Okay. They're just looking for a snuff out. The Tamio regrew. What did Tamio regrow? I think it just regrew a brainstorm. So they're brainstorming and then they're going to flashback flow state. Is that what's happening? I don't see the Bilbo trigger on the stack. So I presume they just, yeah, man, this has been a great series. I'm just disappointed I bricked so hard. Like literally all the lands in my deck other than a couple of the Wastelands and a couple of the fetches. So I block Bilbo. Then they're dead in the air. No, they're not dead in the air because this is... Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and block this. That has to happen. They have this to block, so they're not dead in the air. They're not even close to dead in the air. Okay, they're going to play that out. I don't understand the reasoning for playing it now, but I probably will soon. There's probably some method of the madness. Okay. I'm at 6. They whiff. That's good for me. Snuff out. Yep. I think that's the end of the game unless I draw they have another Bilbo. They did whiff on... Yeah, I think they just had that in hand. Let's think about this. Lorien would do it. Yeah, good games. Okay. Disappointing finish, but I hope you agree that I fought hard. Now, let's talk about the deck. So, the practical reality is we lost to Tempo decks. And I consider myself to be a pretty good player. Maybe that sounds immodest. All right, so how do we think Bilbo is in this shell? I don't think Bilbo is a great blue-white tempo card. I think it might be okay in blue-black. People are initially going to put up lists where Bilbo is showing up, but keep in mind that's because he's heavily played right now. Everybody's trying to figure out whether he's good. Now, cards that preceded this, Mercurial Spell Dancer, Fairy Mastermind was a really cool card right before they printed Bowmaster. And then, of course, Dreadhorde Arcanist, which was banned, which I don't actually know if it would be banned today, frankly. It's good, but the real star of the show was Tamio. The spotlight was just shining so brightly on Tamio this entire time. Bilbo's in the shadows waiting for his chance to say his line. He's also, rehearsed really hard to be in the school play. I think that Tamio is just such a better card than Bilbo. So what I'm thinking is, I don't think that this is a tempo card. I think this might be a control card, but you know what's a much better control card? Freaking Quantum Riddler. We saw that in the league. Quantum Riddler was a menace. I think it's an incredible card. I think what I would do is just... Also, I wasn't impressed with Prismatic Ending or Brazen Borrower. I think we want the Erode's main deck, and that's just more argument against the Days Wasteland Shell. I think what we want instead of... And also, the fact that he's a legend is a liability. It didn't come up, but one of the reasons I'm playing all the Wastelands is I can just imagine a situation where, between Tamio and... Bilbo, we get nothing done. We just sit there, and our opponent Karakas us dutifully every turn, and then beats us down with their, Stoneforge Mystic type creatures. So what I think we want to do is probably not play this guy. I just don't have any interest in buying him or playing him anymore. I've played several leagues with him off camera and on camera. He just hasn't been that great. In theory, he's great, but and I could eat my words. It could be that he's banned a year from now. It could be that this is just a completely forgotten tool. I wasn't initially impressed with him, and then I think I started thinking about flow state, and the high of flashing back a flow state, we have experienced it. It is quite glorious. Flow state, and then you have the third mana, so you can Bilbo flow state again. Being able to loop Soul Guides, we did the high, the ceiling, and I think the floor is just so low, though, because a lot of times you're just playing them out, and they've got a Nethergoyf, and you're like, okay, great. I'm going to have to sacrifice him just to be able to flash back my Brainstorm, or he just sits there, and he's the weakest of bodies. You're never going to close a game with him. You're always going to close with Merc. So that's my assessment. Here, I'm going to show you what I think I'm going to play, which is just going to be a Riddler deck. One sec. And it will look something like this. I think that we do want lots of white, so this is a Tundra deck. I don't think you can do this no reserve list. You could try, but that way we can rock the Erodes, which I'm going to buy real quick. And we can also just leverage the Felia into Riddler. And again, Bilbo is not in here. I know you wanted to see more Bilbo. I'm just not convinced he's nearly as powerful. It's just taking your time and getting Quantum Riddler online. This card just overperforms for me. So we're going to play that. I will keep the Murktide in. I was very impressed with Murktide throughout the league, just being able to end a game quickly. So I'm going to keep the Wastelands in. I think that you do want 4 Wastelands here, just in case you come across some Urza Saga deck. And speaking of Urza Saga, I think Dress Down would be a nice inclusion in the sideboard. I think Wrath of the Skies, if you play the basic planes, and you can get the Karakas in here, go up to 19 lands. And I'm still on 4. I go in all the way up to 4 Lorien because I don't think Prismatic Ending is that good right now. But we've got the 6 exile-based removal and the potential to recur them. I think we can get Teferi in here, and that could be yet another thing to blink with Felia. I think this will be fun, and I'm going to play this in the next video. I also think double Force Negation main deck is great when you're playing Quantum Riddler, because sometimes you're like cool with going down on cards because you're going to go back up on cards with Riddler. So yeah, I'll play this in the next league, but I do think blue-white is really strong right now. I just am not convinced that it's the Bilbo shell. I'll leave it there. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.